tinfoil hat. Oh, what the fuck are you guys even talking about?
Global controls will have to be imposed, and a world governing body will be created to enforce them.
Welcome to Tinfoil Hat. We go deep, homeboy. Aaron, open your mind. Drink from the fountain of knowledge. There's lizard people everywhere. That's some interdimensional shit. Wake up, Aaron.
This is only the beginning.
Dude, you just blew my mind.
Are you ready to get your mind blown?
Good morning, Swarm, and welcome to Tinfoil Hat. You know I am. You know I'm here to do. I'm here to rock. Joining me as always is my good friend Xavier Guerrero.
What's up?
And on the ones and twos, Jay Nice, Sweet Johnny Woodard. How are-
Sweet Johnny Woodard. Oh,
Yeah,
wow.
yeah,
I'm
yeah,
getting
yeah.
more nicknames.
Guys, am I slurring my words, by the way?
You asked me that before, and I haven't noticed that.
Occasionally I'll misspeak.
You're fine.
Okay.
You missed nothing. It's nothing new.
Yeah, I'm just like, am I dying?
And you funked first grade.
Yeah, I did.
Come
so
on.
thank you. I think it just comes from talking too much. Maybe I just pulled my brain or something like that.
Your brain gets ahead of you a little bit.
Yeah,
sometimes.
it does all the time.
Your mouth.
Thank you, Johnny. Thank you for being positive. Guys, big announcements coming. Big announcement. A lot of great stuff coming up. First of all, October 16th is pretty much official. We found the place. We're going to be putting out, we're doing two shows, and that's a Saturday, October 16th. You can find the tickets at samtripoli.com. October 16th, two shows. There'll be probably a 7:30 and then a 9:30. One will be the 500th episode, and then the next will be Swarm Tank, where you're going to be able to come up and ask any questions you want. So that's it. And then if we get real love and they sell quickly, I want to add a Friday show of stand-up.
So everyone keeps asking me, if they buy one, do they get all three?
Well,
As of right
we're
now, do they
going
get
to
both?
I think we're going to do like you get discounts for the more shows you buy.
Okay, perfect. You guys heard it.
Yeah, and that's my goal. Maybe 3 shows, $60. That's what I'm thinking. I don't know. I'm trying to think out loud, but we're doing the numbers and it should be fun. So I want to do a Friday, 1 show Friday, 2 shows Saturday. And yeah, it should be fun. Everybody come out to Vegas, meet the Swarm, hang out. I know, some people can't make it, but those who can, please come.
What's the venue? Do you know the venue yet?
I do have the name of the venue. I just can't remember it offhand. But as soon as tickets go live, I will tell everybody. You'll obviously be able to go to samtripoli.com, grab the tickets, okay? Just like you're going to be able to grab tickets for the shows I'm doing in Alaska. I have a show July 16th and 17th. I am in Alaska. Super excited about that. And then on the 24th, Saturday, it's a day show. Tinfoil Hat Comedy Night is going to be at the American Comedy Company. That's a day show. And just come hang out. Eddie Bravo, that guy right there, Xavier Guerrero, myself will be doing a live show down there. So come get weird with us. 1 show, 420. That's it. And then the following week, we are back on the road. We'll be in Dallas doing 2 shows. We'll be doing a Tinfoil Hat Comedy Night at, I believe it's 8 o'clock. And then at 10 o'clock, we'll be doing a Swarm Tank where you can come in and ask questions from your favorite tinfoil hatter. So that's all available. And then the next day, which is, I believe, the 31st.
31st.
We are going to be in OKC. That's OKC. We're going to be at the Comedy Club.
That's a 4 o'clock show.
That's a 4 o'clock show. Come
Early.
get weird.
Let's go.
Early. Get weird. Dude, we got tons of premium content here, man. If 2 to 3 shows a week aren't enough for you,
Yeah.
okay, now we got something real going on here, okay? Go to Rockfin, ROKFIN.com, ROKFIN.com, and grab all of my premium content there. Anybody's here with premium content.
Broken simulation.
Broken Sim, you have Zero, you have Conspiracy Social Club, now exclusively premium content on Rockfin. You have the greatest of all time whenever Johnny gets time to do that. And then you have Broken
Okay,
Sim,
yeah.
and then you have my good friend Xavier Guerrero show over there.
Exactly.
Okay.
And don't forget about our new T-shirts.
Our new
Ooh,
T-shirts.
they're rocking.
Oh, I had a question. Okay, so a guy asked me that he said he bought like 15 T-shirts and he was expecting to get one of those posters. Are you still doing that where you give out posters or something?
Tell him to send me, and I'll figure out how to get him how to get a poster.
Okay, people want those posters ever since you talked about them.
All right, I'm gonna hit up Josh and Justin, our T-shirt guy. Go start selling posters.
Here we go.
those Ronin posters.
Hey,
That's
and
what
for
I'm
those
Ronan.
I love this shirt. I wish it was. If it wasn't the Dodgers logo, I'd be all over that.
hater. Hey, but on these shirts you can get different colors. You
Yeah,
can get
we're gonna do
gray,
it.
black, and royal blue.
Yeah.
Let's see what that looks like.
do it.
Actually, let's see what that looks like.
It's not up there, I know.
Oh, it's not. Okay.
Yeah.
But they're
Yeah.
limited edition and they're going fast.
Why'd you
Hot.
make them? Why'd we make them limited
we not?
edition?
No?
We should let it out, man.
Let's let it out. Never mind then.
They're
Let it
limited
roll.
edition until they sell out, and then there'll be more.
Nope. You know what I thought about that? I've thought about, I should just open it, but I think that's disrespectful.
No, what you do is-
to people who bought limited edition, but we never had a discussion.
Limited edition
on
color.
limited
You have
edition.
one color that's limited, like red, and then all the others are.
Without the, I do like that. I
All
do
right,
like
we'll
that.
figure it out. But we never really discussed that. So you have Shapeshifting Jesus, you have the new tinfoil hat shirt, and then we got Conspiracy Smoke Show that should be done by the end of the week. And then I have somebody working on a Breakfast the Chicken Snake God shirt.
Can't wait for that one.
So these are the hits, brother. These are the hits, brother. And yeah, anything else?
No, just Broken Sim just dropped new one. We talk about all kinds of crazy shit, like a guy breaking his unit vertically.
Yeah.
If you want to hear about that? Check out Broken
And
Simulation.
big titted nurses.
Yeah.
And Sam teaches you how to shit in the shower.
Yeah, I did. That was the last one. But guys,
Sam's Tales
all
from the
my
Road.
dude, I have so many great podcasts. Right, you can get all the free versions of these podcasts on samtripoli.com. Okay, you can get Tinfoil Hat. You can get Broken Sim. You can get Cash Daddies, my financial show. You can get Union of the Unwanted. And whenever they would send me Punch Drunk, we'll put it on there too. But they're all there. And you can watch all you want. Now, a lot of you guys get upset because some of the videos don't get to Rockfin and Odyssey is quick. Well, I'm sorry, man. I'm just super slam busy in my life. And it's really hard to upload so quickly. So just stick with me. There's a million places to watch these podcasts, just so you know. There's they're on Rumble. It's on a BitChute. It's on Odyssey. It's on Rockfin. It's on samtripoli.com. Someone told me somebody's posted them to YouTube, which I'm not going to fight you guys on. I'd love to get it on there, but I can't do it because they're coming after me.
So wait, Tinfoil Hat is getting posted to YouTube?
Somebody said somebody's posting it on YouTube. And sounds like, why don't you flag them? I'm like, you're doing the Lord's work.
Yeah, just let them do it. I see.
Just let them do it.
What's that? What's that channel?
I don't know. I don't know. I don't run it. How am I supposed to know?
Just search for Tinfoil Hat. I bet it's on there somewhere.
So, yeah. And guys, just know, like, this is how much in a box they have me now. So I have Johnny Bencourt, or we'll call him Little Johnny.
I think it's Tinfoil Hat Unofficial, maybe is what it's called.
Okay, I don't know. But anyways.
He's looking for it.
Anyways,
Oh, we're listening.
I have nothing to do with that channel, and I will fight whoever does it.
Nobody-
Okay, listen to me.
nobody
Listen to me, Johnny. The truth of the matter is this. I am now, even before the video gets posted, YouTube is now flagging me with copyright claims
Unreal.
on free music. It's free. The music is free music. Nobody is doing
What do you mean
claims.
free, though? Where are you getting it from?
So Johnny's, I'll send you the list of places where it's free music. You can use
His
it.
websites might be BS, though, because of some of those.
Fucking found it.
Oh, there it is. Tinfoil Hat Unofficial.
Oh my God, let me see.
Found it. And
Let me
it's-
see.
Look at you. I think you made it. If that's not a sign of
I
making
can't believe somebody's posting them.
Those
all of them, the whole hours,
How
2
many
hours,
views they got?
900, 700, it's going.
Looks like they just started. Yeah.
Yeah.
Almost 50 subscribers.
Don't
you feel like
listen to me. You can keep going. I don't care. Thank you.
Yeah,
just leave my
watch
ads
it.
in. That's
Yeah.
all I
Yeah,
ask.
just leave the ads in.
Do you feel like a Instagram model that has a fake Instagram
Yeah, I
account?
do. I feel like
Is
I
that how you
got
feel?
big fuckable tits.
Yeah, do not report this channel though. Just let them spread it. Who
Just
cares?
let them spread it.
And if you're gonna do it, do all of them. Don't just pick the good ones.
Yeah.
Like, come on.
Yeah, do all of them.
You lazy ass. So listen, guys, I'm trying, dude. I'm trying. YouTube is I look at all of my peers.
That banner's great. though.
And they're killing it in numbers. And I'm getting like 2,000. So I can't even put opiate for the asses anymore. I just got to put live. So if you see live, it's opiate for the asses. It drives me nuts.
What, Sam Tripoli live? Is that what you're putting?
Yeah. All right. No, I'm just going to put live. Not even Sam Tripoli in there. I can't even do that.
Really? Okay.
Yeah, because they can't, like, dude, I just get nailed on everything.
Maybe you just put stand-up comedy live.
Do you think I should put it on my comedy channel?
Yeah, put it.
Put on everywhere. Oh
Try
no,
it.
because you'll get
that
you'll
one's
get
not
flagged.
as much. Yeah, try it
Yeah.
there maybe. Yeah.
All right.
Just an experiment.
We'll move it over there.
It's just
All
there
right,
are only
guys.
like 15,000 followers.
Guys, we got a great show for you. We have Eddie Bravo,
Wild show.
Carlos Machado. Who else do we got? I mean, dude, Dave Weiss. We had Frank, and Matt joining us. So it's a good show. It's spirited. It's long as shit. Enjoy the show.
Drink from the fountain.
All right, let's get into it. Welcome to the Rumble, another one of these fun shows where we have people debating, and I love these shows. Joining me is my partner in crime. We have a tinfoil hat comedy show. They're all kicking in gear. We're going to be in San Diego July 24th, and then we're in Dallas and OKC the following weekend. You can go to samtripoli.com for all those dates. Please welcome Eddie Bravo.
Thank you very much.
Eddie, always a pleasure. How was the 4th?
The 4th was awesome.
Did you win? Did you enjoy your freedom?
Yes.
So much freedom.
Had some baby back ribs.
Look at you.
Corn on the cob, which I usually don't do. And that was last night. And the craziest thing is I didn't know that we digest food so quickly because in the morning dump this morning, there was fucking corn.
Really?
Yeah, and I was like, that was like 12
I wish we
hours.
had that
That's
rainbow.
12 hours.
Now you know, right?
That's 12 hours. I thought it took
Codgers show.
that shit goes right through you quick.
You don't waste any time. You're in it to win it. So this is a great show. Again, you see Eddie live at he crushed it in Houston. We're gonna be on the road doing some more gigs. Again, go to samtripoli.com. So Eddie, and then we also have returning champion. He has become, I believe, the poster boy for flat Earth. He wherever he is, he's arguing for flat Earth, and I'm always honored to have him on the show. Please welcome Dave Weiss. How are you, Dave?
Hell yeah.
What's going on? Arguing the truth is the easy part.
So Dave,
Because you're always right.
Dave, you have a bunch of things you always like to pitch. So where can they find you? Tell us about your app real quick.
Yeah, you can find me at theflatearthpodcast.com. That's where all my links are. And then my app, which is the Flat Earth Sun, Moon, and Zodiac Clock app by Blue Water Bay, available on Android and Apple. It's the highest rated app in the app stores. Everyone loves it. 5 stars all the way, except a few trolls, and they're knocking it down with 1 stars. But I have a challenge for you guys when we're done, and I'll give you 2 Bitcoins if you win.
All right, 2 Bitcoins. They're worth 35 grand right now. So we got stuff going on in the studio right now, Johnny?
Yeah, we're good.
Okay, we can hear you. Eddie, you brought a bunch of friends on both sides of the flat Earth discussion. So why don't you tell us who's here with us?
Well, the last time I was on, we had David Weiss on as well, and everybody's pretty much pro flat Earth. I mean, XG, he's pretty much flat Earth. He just won't admit it because he's still trying to get laid.
Yeah.
As soon as you admit you're flat, if you're single, do not tell anybody you're flat Earth if you're single. Okay, because you ain't gonna get any pussy. You ain't gonna get any pussy.
If you have the app, you can join the Flat Earth dating site. It's taken off.
There's 4 chicks on that dating site.
If you do meet a woman into flat Earth, they get grabbed up very quickly. That's super. That's like Malibu real estate right there.
And Sam, the last time we were on, we had David Weiss, we had XG, who's flat Earth, but he won't admit it because he's trying to get pussy. I totally get it. And then we have Sam, who's totally flat Earth, but he won't admit it because he doesn't want to ruin his career. So he just claims realm.
What career?
You just claim realm. I get it, but you guys are flat Earthers. You guys just can't admit it.
Can't that be a part of it though?
Yes.
I mean, Eddie. I mean, like. I
I'm
believe
not
in law of
bagging on you.
attraction. No,
I'm not
I get
bagging
that,
on you.
but I'm trying to say, like, I believe in a law of attraction, a law of abundance that fits into this realm, this very special place.
Yeah, so my
Sam,
point
if you
is,
don't believe in the spinning ball flying through an infinite universe, you're a flat earther, period. A true earther, right? We don't know exactly what it is, but it isn't a spinning ball flying through space, and that's what everyone's blindly arguing against. So people that argued against it can't even answer the simplest questions. And so you are way past that. You are a full-on true earther.
okay, true earther, I like that. So the last time we were on,
I like that,
we were
true
all-
earther.
last time we were on, the guy sitting in this chair was Hibbler, the guy who put out that documentary Level. So we were just in a fucking echo chamber here. There was really no debate at all. Everybody was pretty much pro flat Earth.
Yeah.
So I thought that was kind of uneventful. So sitting to my right here is Frank. And on the Zoom is Matthew Berry on the right, and to the left of him is Carlos Machado, who's the brother of my master, Jean-Jacques Machado. He's a black belt legend from Brazil, jiu-jitsu fucking phenom. Now and that's a student, Matthew. Now Matthew and Frank,
Frank, what's your last name?
Do I have to say that?
No,
he
you
doesn't
don't
wanna
have to.
say
You
it.
just want Frank?
Yeah, just Frank.
That's great. You're like the guy in every pro wrestling match that I know is going to get his ass kicked because he's like, Frank!
You know what? Dude, do you remember a Bill Burger? Bill Burger would come out and get fucking killed. You remember Bill Burger?
Yeah.
They always brought out Bill Burger. And then there was those guys that would what was his name? B. Brian Blair.
Yeah.
There was the guys that went out and just got crushed. They didn't.
Yeah.
They were never in the match. And then there was B. Brian Blair level where they would fucking do some awesome shit, but they would always lose at the end.
Yeah.
They would never win.
Yeah.
Wait, here's the thing. I want these guys to know we were all in their shoes once. We were all fighting against this thing. It's the dumbest thing in the world.
Totally.
We refused to look at anything stuck in our ways. And then we had to look. We had to dig in deep. And instead of just believing, we started knowing. And then you'll know. You don't
Okay,
so
real quick, before we get into this,
let me
I'm not
introduce
arguing anything. I don't have any.
It was just
real
funny. It was
ties,
just funny.
yeah,
It was
being
funny.
living in the round earth or flat.
Totally. I
but
like
I
that.
do want to
I
say
like that.
with when it comes to my last name, it has nothing to do with being tied to flat Earth. It has everything tied to where we are now in our society. I don't want to,
dude,
You know what I
I'm
mean?
cool with that.
I don't
You don't
want
even have to tell
out
me your
there.
real name.
Listen.
Actually, Frank's not even my real name.
Most of my best friends are not flat earthers. So
Yeah.
it's not like I just hang out with flat
Yeah.
earthers.
I just wanted you to know I'm not so attached to the round. I think as scientists,
like that.
one
He's
way
on
we
the
failed
fence. I
recently.
like that.
So
We're
now
gonna
it's
get
like
him.
all
We're gonna
dudes
get him.
versus one
Well,
guy.
no. This is my
We got
point.
him.
Is that as scientists we have to be like 2-year-olds. We have to always ask why. But nowadays we're so complacent. We've gotten to a point in science where we just say yes to someone else's data. So someone else.
also,
I don't
finish
like
introducing these guys really quick.
Okay.
I never got done.
Okay,
I always digress. It's my fault. So Frank here and Matthew, we're on a chat on MySpace. We're the only guys on MySpace.
Yeah.
We're on a conspiracy chat on MySpace, and there's like 100 of us.
Yeah.
And we battle all the time. And I would say there's 15% are flat earthers, and like 85% are round earthers.
Really, I
And-
thought it was the opposite.
No.
I feel like I'm always against 5-6 people.
It's the other way. It's 15% are team ball and the other end.
Yeah, that's what I feel.
Okay. Okay.
All right, everybody. I want to tell you about our good friends at CBD Line. That's right, CBD Line, one of our oldest sponsors on the show, longest running sponsors on the show, and we love them very much. You know, these stressful times, you need tools in your tool belts, and no one can help you more than CBD Lion. I mean, they got everything. They got vapes. They got gummy. They got those new gummies that you
lemon
like.
ones? Come on, nothing gets better than lemon.
Dude, nothing's better than lemon gummies. Okay.
They also have the new melatonin slumberberry variety pack, which I've heard is pretty cool.
Variety pack, man. And that's what we're talking about, dude. They are the best of the best. I love them very much. They always come to my live shows and support. And here's what's really great, okay? They have everything you need, man. All their products are third-party tested, all right? They even have a quick little survey, quick quiz you take that'll help you with deciding which product is best. They got everything, man. They got everything pre-rolls, pre-rolls of hemp flower. They got new strains of hemp flower. They got lemon gummies, variety pack gummies, melatonin gummies, all this. Fun games CBD. Does it beat that? I don't think so. I love them. Every time they come to my shows, I hug them. I try to kiss them. They're like, no, it's not like that, bro. And if you like that and you want to help out the show and you want to help our sponsors, just go to cbdline.com and enter the promo code tinfoil, okay, to get 20% off. That's cbdline, like the animal.com, coupon code tinfoil. Check them out. We won over 2,000 positive reviews. This stuff works. Give them a try one more time. Just go to cbdline, enter the coupon code tinfoil to get 20% off.
So, but anyways, Frank and Matthew are definitely the ones that come out and bomb on Flat Earth.
Yeah.
And they were bombing one day, and I thought, you know what? Well, instead of bombing on a MySpace chat, no one's even on MySpace anymore. Why not just bring it to Tinfoil Hat? So I asked them, I go, you guys want to do this debate on Tinfoil Hat? Because we need somebody to debate, because nobody wants to debate. I try to get people on. So Frank and Matthew agreed, and they're on the fence, really. They got open minds.
They're open-minded.
Yeah, because the fact that they're on that MySpace chat, it means they're red-pilled.
Yeah.
So when you're red-pilled, you're already on the doubting the mainstream version of science. Already, because we already see that science could be bought very easily.
Yeah.
A lot of agencies, the guys that are running or the mouthpieces for all these different government agencies, easily you could buy them.
We also, I mean, like when I meet somebody who's like in their late 40s or 50s and they still like determine who they're friends with based on politics, I go, you've lived no life if you still allow politics to decide who's your friend and who's not your friend, right? It's like you should have lived enough life to know that people could see stuff different, and that at the end of the day, whatever you believe about politics and whatever I believe isn't going to change anything. And like, I'm not here just to talk to people I agree with. I think that's a very boring thing, but how does that apply to science? Real quick, hold on. That applies that if you're in this game long enough and the game is life, you see where a science comes out, says one thing, and then 6 months later they're like, oh, that wasn't true at all. Or you find out the person or the company funding that study wanted a certain outcome.
Yeah, I mean, I think there's a few things at play. When you don't see people coming onto this show, I think it has a lot to do with people's fear of their reputation being blown, because we're so reputation-based right now, right? That's why social media is so big. You post on Instagram, you've got this cool life, when in reality, you're probably broke or whatever.
Totally.
But
and now,
so
Frank,
I think for me, I don't care. And, well, more than that, I trust Eddie enough and you guys that your whole aim isn't to put me on blast and my reputation. No. But these people that don't know, they're not in this MySpace group, they don't know what the fuck's happening.
Now, explain to people what you do. You work in science.
Yeah. So
you're a scientist, right?
Yeah. Well, I used to work in immunology, but now I'm on the business side. So my whole purpose now is I go out and I get my current pharma company to partner with other pharma companies.
So you work for a pharma company?
Yeah, to co-produce a new drug or to discover a new molecule, whatever it may be. Before I was actually on the lab bench, but I just want to preface that I'm not currently on the lab bench anymore. There's a lot more money to be made on the business side of things, obviously. I just got engaged and I want to be able to provide certain things for my future family, which takes money. So being in...
Scientists don't make money?
No.
Really?
Yeah, we don't make anything.
Oh, damn.
Yeah.
So you're a legit scientist?
What do you mean by legit?
Yeah, like you went to college and got a science degree?
Yes. Molecular biology.
Molecular biology.
Yes, sir.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
From, actually, maybe I shouldn't say that. And you don't know who exactly where I'm from.
We're just going to assume it's MIT.
Matthew, you guys, your mics.
Harvard.
Hey, Matthew, your mic. Your mics are kind of like echoey.
You guys might have to lean into the computer to talk because it's picking up weird sound. Oh, there we go.
Okay, so Matthew's the other guy that wants to ask questions, and we can say he's going to debate flat Earth. What do you do for a living?
I own a body shop.
Okay.
I'm just a dumb mechanic.
But that's like a scientist, though. A mechanic is like a scientist, right? The science of cars. I mean, that's real. I believe in the science of cars. You know why? Because I see them driving around all the time. So, is there science involved in building cars? Is there science involved in building cars?
Well, how things work. Yeah.
Oh, for sure.
Right?
Yeah.
There's science involved.
Physics.
Engineer.
There's no better example of a financial incentive to make something difficult.
Okay. Okay. I'm retarded, so I don't know what that meant, but I like it. I like it. Now,
I
Carlos.
believe cars are specifically designed to make them difficult to fix on purpose.
Like a BMW, open the hood.
Exactly. That's science. So that's science. All right.
Proprietary.
So
Make it to keep the money in house to make your life difficult.
So that is 100%
science.
No disrespect. What the medical community is
Totally.
about, like,
Totally.
let's put
Well, what do you
everybody on a
mean by
million
that?
drunk. Let's, well,
Like,
so
what do you mean by the
I always
medical
tell
community?
people, go to your doctor and bring up homeopathic remedies and watch
Oh,
them
they'll freak
have
out.
like just showing sun to Dracula. They're like, right?
Now.
Well, do you incorporate scientists in on that? Because I think that's one of the biggest debates now with this COVID thing is you have got MDs and nurses trying to make scientific hypotheses or judgments off things that they don't actually do. So
I think that's done purposefully, and no disrespect, because I know you're a wonderful person, but the industry, I think, I think a big reason why they want to saddle our doctors with so much debt is to control their ability to maneuver, start their own practices, stuff. You got this debt. Like, hey man, we need our money back.
Yeah.
So now you gotta be like, and then you have this gorgeous pharmaceutical salesperson coming in. It's like, hey man, we got this new drug, and you're some guy who's got wild eyes because you're like, how am I gonna pay these bills, right? And now you got this girl. Hey man, you do this, we'll throw you this, this, and then it becomes this kind of
100%.
system.
And the same thing is said on the science side. So a lot of these immunologists out there with COVID, they're getting funding from either the government or Bill Gates or whoever. And so they're very uncomfortable coming out against that because they lose their funding.
Yes.
But they'll try to do it like sleight of hand. Like they'll say things like it's our best guess or whatever. But in reality, we've become very scared, and I think it's a symptom of our current society that we're not courageous anymore. We hate courage. We want to be victims. Everyone wants to be a victim, but if you want to stand your ground and be courageous, very shit on. And I think
there's
that's
not a lot of money in courage.
No, and that's the issue with scientists too. I mean, there are scientists coming out, and they have been since COVID even got released.
There's a comedian out there. I'm not going to say his name, but. Everyone's talking about brave this, brave that, and I always say nothing brave is ever done on a private jet making 20 mil of a check. Nothing like that is. It's what is acceptable by the status quo. When it comes to that stuff, you always hear this with conspiracy theorists, and we'll get back to flat Earth. They're always like, how? Well, dude, somebody would know. Somebody would say something. No, not really, man. Like, when your paycheck is associated with a certain thing, it's very scary to go, hey man, this is not right. And you see it happening in the medical community, people losing their medical license, or they got to walk away from their practices because they just not comfortable with what this kind of psyop that's going on right now. Yes, there is a virus. I'm not saying there's no virus, but what's accompanying this thing is very questionable. And it's a couple brave people, and they lose everything. Everything. And it's like that is when everything is on the line, that's bravery.
Now, me, Matt, and Frank were on MySpace discussing this debate that we were going to do on your show, Matthew said, hey, Carlos Machado, your master's brother, who's also a master, he's into flat Earth. I said, what? I said, Carlos Machado's a flat earther? Explain. Can you explain, Carlos Machado? Can you explain how you got into flat Earth?
Let me tell you this, all right? I'm a rebel without a cause. Let's put in perspective this, all right? When you seek the truth, not everybody is ready for it, and not everybody is ready to hear it. You understand? And we are so conditioned in a certain way. I use the jiu-jitsu mindset. I break things down. You understand? So when you give me information, I don't take it at face value. I break it down, and I try to find the sources. The other thing, too, the average Joe nowadays can buy a good laser. They can have a good camera with zoom capabilities. And I'm sure David is going to extrapolate on that. I like to use my imagination. I say, okay, instead of trying to prove somebody wrong, well, let's say the flat earther, let me see if I can disprove the flat earther. Okay? So you get into a conundrum where whichever side of the equation you are, you may have arguments that defend both positions, but you may not be in a position to disprove certain contentions that are quite valid when it comes down to what the average Joe can do today. I'm not a scientist. I don't have a scientific background. I do take jiu-jitsu in a scientific approach. You know what I'm saying? Because I feel if I want to leave an imprint here in what I do, I have to be very minute to the degree that I go to get as far as I can with the answers that I'm looking for. So if you present me a question as a student, if I don't have the answer, that's what motivates me. So when somebody tells me that the earth is flat, I'm going to say, how come? All right. And then I'm eager to see what Dave's going to say. I'm sure we're going to correlate. And I'd love to hear what Frank has to say. I'm in a position too, I agree to disagree. You know, I'm not here to prove a point, nor to make a point. I like to use my imagination, Eddie. Eddie, you created the 10th planet, bro. Right? So you walked out of Jean-Jacques Matt and you said, you know what? I'm going to try to do this thing now and no gi all the way. And you came with a terminology that I've never heard before. You know what I'm saying? And so you kind of reinvented in your own way, a new way of looking at jiu-jitsu. Now, we are not reinventing science because electricity existed before Thomas Edison or Nikola Tesla came to play. They just revealed to us what was already laid out by nature. And I think right now, because it's easier for us to make our own diligence, and this is a problem that I have, we're raised without critical thinking. You go to college nowadays, and how many of us, you know, go to college and then realize, I wish I didn't, because all the crap that I learned there I can all use in real life. You know what I'm saying? So right. I make a point where, look, there's a political side to this, because I represent a lot of people. If I was to voice everything that I really know, half of the people would be happy with what I'm saying, the other half wouldn't. So I understand where Frank comes from in the sense that there's an image that are perceived of all of us as a persona. And we're trying to walk on eggshells because, God forbid, you say something without paying attention, and nowadays, you know, you can get crucified by it, you know, by making a wrong punctuation on something. So with that said, I just want to throw out there, I'm going for a no holds bar with you guys. Yeah, I'm not going to be in a position to defend anybody. If I hear something I don't agree, I'm going to just throw right back at you.
Let me throw something in.
I'm all about
Here comes
that.
Dave. Here comes Dave.
Hold on.
That was beautiful, Carlos.
As we go through this today, very simple. We're going to throw things into 3 baskets. Only works on a flat earth, works on a flat earth and a ball earth, and only works on a ball earth. And what you're going to find, you know, there's lots of things that we don't know. Flat earthers know that they don't know. Ballers think they know everything. They have no idea that they don't know because they've just been brainwashed. And you're going to notice by the time we get to the end of this, nothing will go into that 3rd basket. Because if something goes in there, I lose 2 Bitcoins.
So the other thing too, Dave, just to complement that, I don't want to take too much of anybody's time, is the question that we have. There are two variables here. One, what difference would that make in my life, whether the globe is round or the globe is flat? I believe that we all individually, we have a responsibility to become a better version of ourselves, regardless of any knowledge that we can gain from it. But if you can find the truth on something like it, it's a red pill that is going to give you probably more ammunition to find answers in many other things. And it's not that you have to be a conspiracy theorist or try to find all the answers to everything. But I think that when you go for a fight, you have to know your enemy. You have to know who you're dealing with. And people that suppress information, whether in science, I mean, you want to know one of the most suppressed areas of human history? Archaeology.
Absolutely.
We don't know
it's all
about
lies.
the past because, God forbid, they really tell what they really find in those excavations. But that's another story, maybe for another day. I'm just throwing that to you guys. I'm ready for the Valetudo.
Carlos, let me ask you a question. When you go into a fight, if you think you're spinning and swirling and corkscrewing through an infinite space vacuum, how well are you going to do? Wouldn't you do a lot better if you knew that you were in the center of on a solid foundation, not spinning out of control, not lost, not insignificant? You know, you take your power back when you understand that you don't live on a spinning space.
Well, what it does, and I'm not going to get onto either side, but I don't know if jiu-jitsu matters if you're on a ball or anything. I know with a gun it is, but what I'm trying to say is, you know, it's like when you know the truth, that sets you free. Okay, because then you go, what else are they lying to me about? Hey, everybody, I want to tell you about our new sponsor, TebowBodywear.com. That's Tebow Underwear. That's right. Go to TebowBodywear.com. Use the promo code tinfoil, okay? Their underwear is awesome. I have it on right now. That's how much I love it, okay? Their underwear was developed and tested by 400,000 men, okay? Tebow Underwear is developed by a community of customers to improve previous versions and develop new versions that through their online platform, okay? Tebow Underwear is extremely soft, and trust me, it is comfortable, well cut for the most flattering look. Yeah, man, your junk is gonna look power huge, and we could all use that here. My proud 6 inches never looked better. This is because so many customers gave their opinion to make them better than ever. Okay, Tebow is a leader in community-led production of their men's underwear, and they're leading the movement to have this as the future of all clothing production. Okay, Tebow is pronounced Tebow, just like Jason Tebow. Okay, if you love Jason Tebow, you're gonna love this underwear. Okay, Tebow Underwear offers a superior cut bamboo material that is softer and more durable than your average underwear. Additionally, a cool fact: bamboo uses 20 times less water and cotton fabric, which contributes to sustaining the environment. Okay, dude, a lot of great stuff. So here's what Tebow's offering. Okay, get 20% off your next purchase at TebowBodywear.com. That's TebowBodywear.com, and use the promo code tinfoil. Okay, that's TebowBodywear.com, promo code tinfoil.
But Sam, what the question we asked was, how would it affect you if you were living on a flat Earth or a round Earth? And my question is, if this was all a lie, which I'm open to believe because they lie a lot, what is the point? What do they gain in the end? Is there money? Is there something like what?
Listen, hold on. Money is an illusion. Let's answer that at the end. Let's go through some of the stuff, and then before I sign off, I'll tell you why the lie. Because why the lie is the most important thing. Does the shape of the Earth matter? Absolutely not. It's the lie that matters, and you'll understand by the time we're done why the lie. The
Dave,
lie
can you explain
is
what's
the most
behind
important thing. Is the most important thing that the elite have to keep control over us.
Dave, while you're at it, do you mind explaining what you're showing behind you?
Yeah, so what this is just an idea of what the flat Earth is. Most people think that the flat, they laugh at flat Earth. One, they have no idea that they're spinning in their world. They're spinning at 1,000 miles an hour, orbiting at Mach 90, chasing the sun over 500,000 miles an hour while that thing's moving sideways. They also think that the flat Earth is a disk floating in space with other heliocentric balls or even other flat disks. No flat Earther believes that. And the reason they believe that is because they've Googled it. They do some research. Google. Well, Google's going to deliver you nonsense. When you Google flat Earth, you might as well just realize you'll never be a flat earther because it's garbage, right? So we don't believe that. So we believe that the Earth is is the basement of the universe. That's the best way I have to describe it.
Wait, but go back to that other thing. Was that? So were you saying that was not true? That image is
no. This is the general idea of what flat Earth is. The Earth is an extended plane. We live in a pond within that plane, right? The side of a pond, a lake, it needs a container, because if you don't have the edge of a container, water just goes away. If you have a bathtub and the bathtub disappears, the water's gone. If you have a lake and the sides of the lake disappear, the water's gone. Antarctica is the highest land on Earth. It's the land that surrounds our world ocean. Okay. These are all of the islands, all the continents are all surrounded by water, but the water is surrounded by its container. That container is Antarctica. Antarctica, we don't know how big it is because it's off limits. You can't explore Antarctica. Even if they let you, how are you going to? Compasses don't work. GPS doesn't work. It's friggin' horrible, cold and dark out there.
But the other image had two suns. That's what I was.
Go back to the other.
Two suns is on the table, though. Two suns is on the table.
Yeah, so one is the sun that's on the top right now.
One is the moon,
and the other one is the moon.
Yeah.
And right, they just happen to be this. They don't always stay like this. Let me show you. Let me share my screen real quick.
Okay. Yeah, I like to go in deeper on this because it's a good animation.
Yeah.
but
Real quick. The one thing that we know for sure is there's a lot of things we don't know for sure because scientists have figured it out, but the peasants, we have no idea. So it's stuff we have to take scientists' word for. Like there's so many things. Like when they say they discovered 7 planets 20 light years away, we have no way to verify that.
Yeah, sure.
We have to take people's scientists and government scientists' word for it.
Yeah.
So that kind of stuff, we don't believe hold on, let me finish. We don't believe anything. I don't, like me and Dave, we don't anything coming from mainstream science that we can't prove for ourselves. We don't know. We don't know.
Think
it
you
could
need
be like
that to prove the world's round, though.
No. Hold on. Let me finish. So what do we know? What do we know for sure that we don't need a scientist's approval? What do we know? We know that there is, scientifically, we know that there's some kind of magnetic force in North Pole, right? That's how compasses work. Everybody agrees on that. Everybody agrees that. Nobody's going to disagree with that. That's what we know. That's for sure. Something in the North Pole. There's some kind of magnetic force. Then, if there wasn't a magnetic force there, we wouldn't be able to travel in the oceans. We need those compasses. For some reason, it points to the fucking north. That means there's a magnetic force to the north. Everybody agrees with that. It's all right. I don't need a scientist to tell me that. I know that for a fact. You know it for a fact. Another thing we know for a fact is Polaris is the North Star that doesn't move, and it's right above the North Pole. And I don't need a scientist to tell me that because I've seen many, many videos. Can you put a video up of the stars going around the North Pole? Can you do that? So if you look at time-elapsed photography, let me finish. Time-elapsed photography. I'm going over stuff we don't need scientists for. We know that Polaris is right above the North Pole where all that magnetic energy is. There's some magnetic energy, some fucking force in the North Pole. And Polaris is right above it, and all the stars go. If you look at time-elapsed photography, if you haven't, well, there's literally 5,000 videos on YouTube where you could see the stars going around.
What direction?
I don't know. Clockwise, counterclockwise, doesn't matter.
Well, you have photos of both. That's my point.
Well, what is it? Clockwise or non-clockwise?
Why can't the southern hemisphere see Polaris though? People in the southern hemisphere can't even see Polaris.
Yeah, they see the Southern Cross.
Let me explain that. It's very, very simple.
But hold on. Before you do that, let me just finish. We know that the Polaris is above the North Pole. We know that. If you can't see it from the south, whatever. We could see it. We could see it from here. Okay, so it doesn't matter what I'm talking about. So we know there's a magnetic force in the north. We know that Polaris, coincidentally, is right over this fucking magnetic force, coincidentally, and it doesn't move. And all the stars go around it. Who cares what happens in the south? We're talking about the north. So what we know is in the North Pole, there's a magnetic force that it's with Polaris right over and everything goes. So there's all these stars going around the North Pole. And coincidentally, that's what the sun and the moon are doing. They're going around the fucking North Pole. So whatever force it is that a compass is pointing to, in my opinion, based on that, is the same force that's connected to the sun and the moon and all the stars, because you could see them, and they're going around this magnetic force. Everything goes around this magnetic force. David Weiss.
Hold on. Johnny, ask your question again, and then David's going to answer it. Then I got a question.
Wait, we didn't even go back to that dome that he was showing. Were the sun and the moon in the dome
when you
or
go
out
back,
of the dome?
So when you go back to the image he had, now go back to the sun and the moon going around.
Yeah, like this one.
So
is that a dome on the outside?
So check this out. No,
is it? I don't know.
He's really new to this.
Check this out. So check this out. So based on what I said, if this map is correct, the North Pole is in the center.
Sure, yeah.
North Pole, and the sun and the moon are going around the North Pole.
Are they in or out of the dome?
In the dome.
They're in the dome.
In
the firmament.
So both are inside of this dome.
Who knows?
NASA has actually come out and said the moon is in our atmosphere.
Yeah, so that's official from last year. That's official.
I think that's a...
Don't believe anything
that's
NASA
NASA.
says.
Pretty
but-
we don't need science to... But I guess my question with that is that if you're in Chile and you FaceTime someone in Alaska at a certain time of year, they're going to be in darkness. But with this here, they would both be in the sunlight. So my question to you is, how would that work? Because you've got the moon and the sun.
I mean, look at it. Do you see? So here's the thing. You have to understand what perspective is, and you have to understand how we don't have a distant 93 million mile away sun. The sun that we see is close. We don't know how close it is. Is it 3,000 miles or 300 miles or 30 miles? I couldn't tell you because I don't believe that the sun is a physical object. Again, I hate looking up at the sky to figure out what's below my feet. I hate looking at the lights in my sky to determine the shape of my floor. But let's talk about why you can't see Polaris, which was the first question you asked, in the south. For one, there was an observatory in South America, 30 degrees south, that reportedly saw Polaris a whole bunch of times. And scientists were like, well, you can't do that because it would be well below the curve. And then they said, well, it's refraction. It's nonsense. It's just they had a clear day and they could see it. Imagine you're in a room, recessed lights. Those are the stars. Okay, 10-foot high ceiling. Now expand that room to 10 miles wide, 10 miles. Okay. I'm standing near the center or wherever, and I send somebody 5-8 miles away from me. Okay. In a 10-foot high ceiling, in just a mile, you can't see the ceiling and the floor merge in less than a mile. You look down a long Vegas hallway, the ceiling almost touches the floor. So at the same time, I can't see you. When you look up, you see different stars. When I look up, I see different stars, right? You can't see them, and it's all due to perspective. That's how we see the sun and the moon. Let me walk through this video right here. So these lights are all the same height. You know it. They're just going away, and they get lower due to perspective. So here's how we see the sunset. When you look up. There's your line of sight to a cloud. Imagine there's a whole cloud deck, right? When I look across Long Island Sound, New York City's 25 miles away. The clouds are literally touching the water. They literally merge with the horizon at just 25 miles. So here are all the clouds merging with the horizon. So now this guy is going to look at that distant cloud. And if you drew a line from his eye to that cloud, it would be parallel. He would see it parallel over the water. But is that line really parallel over the water? Okay. He sees it that way. That's his reality. But what if somebody was standing underneath that cloud and could look at that and see that line? What would they see? They would see the line sloping down from the sky to his eye. They would see the opposite of what he sees. Hold on, here it comes. So the guy under the cloud, he sees the line sloping down. Okay. So that's what's really going on. So this becomes this guy's horizon line, sloping up into the air. Well, horizons are always down level, but remember, he saw it level. So if you extend that line, here's the cloud, we extend it all the way up, and that becomes his horizon line. But for him, that horizon line's on the ground. So when the sun just travels away, whenever it crosses this line, it will disappear because it's blocked by all of that atmosphere. I call it atmospheric blocking. Even on a clear day, the atmosphere becomes opaque, and I can prove that. Okay. So this is what's really happening. But what this guy perceives is what his perception, what perspective is showing him. Almost done, and then you could ask anything you want. So I'm just going to show you real quick. So his point of view sees it like this. So he sees the sun appear to go down and set behind an imaginary horizon. It's an apparent horizon. That's what he sees.
And this is true on land or water.
This is true everywhere.
Like go back to the street side, the street lights. Go back to the street lights. Go back to the street lights.
But those are in fog.
Okay, no. So we know. No. Look at the street lights. Do you see how that second one and the third one look lower than the first one?
I don't know.
No. Go back to the street lights, please. Just go back to the street lights. Just stay right there. Can you pause it?
I can't stop it. I just can repeat it.
You see how there's the first one, and the second one and the third one. The second one, third one, it constantly gets lower.
Yeah.
Is that due to the curve of the Earth or perspective?
Well, it's both. I mean,
No. Is it? You think it's already curving? The reason it looks
no, it's not because it's too short of a distance.
Exactly.
Yeah. But it doesn't mean that it's not.
No. It doesn't mean that.
Hold on,
but it does prove perspective. It doesn't prove that there's no curve. It doesn't prove that there's no curve.
Is anyone arguing that there's no perspective?
No. Yes, that's the whole. This is the whole argument.
What's the argument on perspective?
No. Listen, let me finish. The second and third one, and beyond, fifth one, sixth, all of them are slightly. They appear to be shorter, but they're not shorter.
No, yeah.
Perspective is that it's going over the horizon.
No. That's not what I'm talking about.
That's what I mean. Like I don't know. Hold on.
No. The second, third, fourth, fifth, sixth, seventh, each one looks shorter. It looks shorter than the
Right,
first one.
right,
Right?
right.
Is it shorter?
No.
Of course not. It's perspective,
Hold on,
right?
Carlos.
It's
I agree.
okay, okay. So what we're seeing is in that short space, every light looks shorter than the other one. And then after like 20 lights, it goes to eye level and then it disappears into the horizon. That's exactly what the sun's doing.
Oh, okay. That's where it is. You're comparing
and
the
that's
light
the
to the sun.
That's the, it looks,
Carlos,
yes,
Carlos, go
that's
for the question,
what
then
the
I'll
sun
add
is
on.
doing.
Go ahead, Carlos.
Hold on, Carlos.
It's not low. The sun ain't setting. It's
Let
just
me
going
throw it there.
away.
He's got
it's going
that.
away.
He said that, Carlos.
All right, let me throw it there, Dave. That's the first thing that I stumbled across because I know the curvature. If the 25,000 sphere that supposedly is our planet, it has to follow a curvature pattern. And upon what I read, engineers that build railroads, bridges, tunnels, and so on, or pilots that drive planes, they never discount what the curvature. I mean, they have their routes. And I haven't heard of any of them try to make provisions. Oh, I have to go down a little bit. And in the example
That's a
of
good
the
point.
Bedford experiment, and then I would like to hear your word on it. It was a 6-mile stretch on a channel, on a canal, and it was supposed to be, if the curvature existed the way they say, the point of vision would be 16 feet below the perspective of the person watching this little boat. Sailing all the way to the end. And I think this could be a good one for us to throw at Frank in a respectful way for us to start kind of dissecting this thing here. What do you have to say about the curvature?
I'm Lebanese, dude. I'm Middle Eastern. This is normal. No, Carlos, I guess the first part of your question I'm a little confused on. I didn't catch all of it, but the second one, I've noticed these photos a lot, but they're always over water, and water is going to be a little bit different.
I think I know what he's
than
saying. How
Earth.
come we haven't heard of if there is and if I'm wrong, Carlos, please correct me. But if there is a curve, pilots should have to take account for the curve when they fly.
Or they go right into the space.
Right? I
They
mean,
go right
like,
into space.
there would be, like,
No,
I was thinking
wanna
about.
answer Carlos's question. Let me answer Carlos's question.
Hold on, Dave, real
Carlos,
quick.
you're saying-
Hold on, real quick. The reason why it's done over water is because water don't lie. The refraction, he's going to explain refraction, but
Explain mermaids.
But on land, it's hard to factor in curve because there's mountains and valleys. So at land, like, you got to throw the curvature out the window. But water, since most of the planet is water, that's where you test the curve, is on water. Go ahead, Dave.
Sure. I guess the question. I mean, we're still on that first one with the sun. When you look on, if you lay down flat on your back and you have someone just holding a plate, even a small plate, and if they circulate that plate around your head at certain angles, it's not going to be circular anymore. It's going to be more
I
oval.
100% agree.
So how is it that it's always circular, especially for the moon? The sun may be different; it's hard to look at, but the moon is always circular. And then just real quick, Dave, the other point along the moon, because I'll just get it all in one for you. When we look at it from the North America or Europe or whatever, we're seeing the same moon. Everyone sees the same face. It's not different. Now in Australia, they see that a little bit flipped because they're coming from it from the bottom of, let's say, this round Earth. In the flat Earth model,
you
how
put
does
like
it work?
5 questions out already, just one at a time.
Just those two.
I'm going to go backwards. If right now in your room somebody put a 6 on the ceiling and you stood on one end of the room and looked at that 6, what's the person on the other side of the room going to see? A 6 or a 9? Does that mean that their room is a sphere and the other person's upside down? Absolutely not. So there goes that complete argument. That's why Australia sees the moon upside down. They see the moon upside down because they're on the other side of the room, period. That's the end of it. Okay?
Why do the toilets flush different?
They don't. It's a myth. And I have toilets in my house that go in opposite directions. It's just the way the water goes into the bowl.
Total myth.
No, I don't understand your answer. That doesn't make sense. I guess maybe I didn't explain it well. The moon, no matter where you look at it, you could be in Tokyo where I was just living.
It looks like a sphere, right?
No, it looks like a sphere, but you're seeing the same face, is what I'm saying. The same face. Right. But when you're in the southern hemisphere, you see a different side of that same face. You see it twisted. So my point is, if you're in America, San Diego, and you're looking at it in Tokyo, you're all seeing the same ball, but from different faces, right?
You're seeing the exact same face of the moon, just at different. It's spun in different directions. Because just I don't understand. Put a clock on the ceiling, and then everybody stand in a different place in the room, and everybody will have the bottom of that clock and the top of that clock at a different rotation.
That's a flat clock. So are you saying the moon is flat? Is that what we're?
So let me ask a question: are these spheres?
What is that? I don't know what that is.
This is the moon. Is this one a sphere? Before she picks it up, is that a sphere?
I mean, from this perspective, it looks like a sphere.
Absolutely. This is my point. It's not a sphere. It's flat. Okay.
So you're saying
my
the moon
point
is
is
flat.
you don't know what shape the moon is. My point is this a sphere?
Yeah, but this is a little bit insidious, right? Because that second Earth, it's shaded to look like a sphere. If I just made it a flat color, it would look flat.
I have 2 points here. One, who the hell cares what shape the moon is? And two, you don't know what shape the moon is, right? Because the moon does not act like. Hold on. The moon does not act like a sphere. A sphere lit up by a single source light has a hot spot and then it fades to the edge. But when we see a full moon, it's lit up edge to edge. Okay, it's the same brightness from edge to edge.
Why is the shadow singular? Why is the shadow?
It's shadow, exactly what Matt's saying. Exactly.
Well, is it a shadow? How do you know it's a shadow? How do you know the moon just isn't powering up and powering down?
I don't know. What do you mean by powering up and powering down?
Again, the moon, I'll admit it, the moon is the biggest mystery of all, but it's not a spinning rock that just spins perfectly. So
it doesn't spin.
It does spin.
No, round Earth theories, they don't say that the moon spins. It actually doesn't spin at all. It's not spinning on its own axis.
It spins over 10 miles an hour.
No, it's rotating around the Earth, but it's not spinning within itself. It's
it has to spin within itself.
No, it doesn't. So that's why we're seeing the same face.
It would have different sides would face the Earth. Go look up mainstream science. The Earth,
but they
the
don't.
moon
That's
is spinning.
my point.
No one's arguing that. No one's arguing that except you.
No,
right?
Everyone. If you take any layman scientist, I'm not even a astrophysicist or any of these people, but I can tell you just by simply camping, if you go out camping in San Diego or in Tokyo, you're going to see the same exact face of that moon. Now, if you go camping in Australia, when I played rugby in Australia and I looked up, guess what? That same face was a little bit different. It was the same face, but different. So my question is, why is the face the same if it's flat? If it's the same face from every perspective on this flat Earth, and if it was a ball, you would think you would be seeing different faces from this flat Earth.
Because it's not a ball. It's not a ball.
You're answering your own question.
I think you guys are talking about.
It's not a ball.
If it was a ball, you would be seeing different faces. If it was a ball,
one of those things
it would move a little bit. If it was a ball, it would be you would see a different face. It's the exact same face. It's like
the
exact same face.
I don't think you're understanding my question.
You guys are. What he's saying is, you guys are trying to say it's flat, a clock, and he's saying that if you're in Australia, you don't see 1 to 12, you see 13. You see like a different segment of the moon. Is what he's saying. He's not saying you see it upside down.
The same thing. It's just upside down. He's saying if it's a ball, you would see the slightly different side of the ball, and I totally agree with him. I'm with you on that.
But what
he's
I'm
saying
saying
he does.
that is what we see. So my point is that if it was flat and you're looking at that same flat.
What is flat? The moon or the Earth?
He's saying the moon is flat.
He's saying
he's saying we don't know what the moon is.
He doesn't know what
we don't know what it is.
We don't know what it is.
He doesn't know what it is.
So my question then,
probably
from a flat perspective, is that if you're looking at a ball, let's just assume the moon is a ball. Let's just assume it. If you're looking at a ball and you're looking at it from Tokyo and you're looking at it from San Diego, you're going to see the same face because that's what everyone in the northern hemisphere is going to see. Now, just bear with me. I know this is.
You'd see the backside of the ball, though. Wouldn't you see the backside of the ball?
No, the same thing. And then on the southern hemisphere, let's just assume this is a round Earth. You would see this same image, but at a different angle, but the same image. That's what we see. You can call anyone on Australia.
So let me answer it without being interrupted. Let me answer it. First,
Dave gets feisty a little bit.
I do. I'm just trying to get the information out. Listen. So on a flat Earth, if you stuck a basketball to the ceiling and you wrote numbers on it, whatever, put arrows on it, one person on the north side of the room, one person on the south side of the room, they'd see it in a different rotation. I got it. But you're saying, hey, if it's a ball, they kind of see this side of it, and then they'd see this side of it, and you wouldn't see the exact same face. I agree with that. Okay? But
that's not what I said.
I don't believe
Stop, Dave. What are so using his basketball analogy, what are you saying?
I'm about to
hold
tell you.
on, Dave. Let him because he says he didn't say that.
Let's take that basketball analogy. On one side of the basketball, you'll see Spalding.
Yeah,
right. Everyone sees that.
And the other side, you'll see NBA.
NBA, right.
Right.
So if you're looking at a round ball in the air,
right.
You're looking at it from Tokyo or San Diego.
Yeah.
Everyone is going to see the Spalding sign at the same. They'll all see it the same way.
Okay.
If you're on the southern hemisphere, right,
yeah.
and you're now looking at the moon, it's going to be a different angle of that same.
You're going to say like 35 pounds of pressure. You're going to see.
No, you'll see Spalding, but at a different angle. It'll be like upside down.
You'll see a whole different side. You'll see the other side.
No, that's not what. That's what I'm saying.
You
don't
said
see
it 10
that.
times.
Exactly.
Listen, I'll explain it.
No, you won't see it with a round moon. But Weiss, go.
You ready?
Go,
yes.
Weiss.
The sun and the moon that we see, there's no proof that they're physical objects. There's a scientist in the late 50s that was talking about the moon being plasma. It's more of a projection or a reflection.
You got the video of that?
What's that?
The video of that scientist?
I don't have that. I don't have the video of him handy.
Gotta have that in the chamber, dog.
It's in the app under it's under NASA. It's under, I forget what it's under.
Damn.
But so what are we seeing? So when you drive down the road, it looks like the moon is following you. As a kid, you're like, hey, the moon's following me. And it is, because you see it in a position relative to yourself. Like if we were standing on the beach and watching the sunset or the moonset over the water, you'd see it walking on the water, a line walking on the water right to your feet, and the other person would see it going to their feet, and neither of you could see each other's position. If you and I were 50 feet apart and we're looking at a giant mirror and the sun or the moon is setting behind us, I could see the moon in the reflection, and I could have someone go up and draw a circle around the moon with a Sharpie. There it is. Then they walk 50 feet over to you. They're going to draw a circle 50 feet in another position. So the optics of what we're seeing in the sky they're insane. But this is what happens. I believe, and there's so much evidence for it, that we all see what I call in our personal atmospheric dome. So each viewer is in the center of their atmospheric dome. And the atmospheric dome is a real thing because you can only see so far through the atmosphere, right? So as this point light outside of the dome moves, you can see this little intersection in each one of these. That's where you would see the sun and the moon manifest, right? So it's noon right here. It's like 1 o'clock here, 2:30 maybe. Here it's early in the morning, California, East Coast, California. So as it moves, here are the time zones. Here's how you see it, and it's being projected into our view, if you will. So you can do a little experiment with what's that?
This dome is like what's in your eye. Is that what you're saying?
No. This is the atmosphere becomes opaque at a distance, and the projection of the sun and the moon, I believe, we see it in manifesting in there. And then during eclipses, we can actually see a lot more evidence of this. And I don't know if we have time to get into that. Go ahead.
All right, you got a question, Matthew?
If the atmosphere, if you're saying the sun is disappearing when the sun's setting, because the atmosphere is opaque, correct? So it would fade away gradually instead of...
Very good question. Glad you asked. Thank you. My favorite question of all time. I appreciate it, because here we go. So when you're looking into the distance, all of the atmosphere compresses and it becomes opaque. And on a cloudy day, those clouds literally become opaque, and the sun just goes beyond it and it sets just like that, because this opaque line. No, hold on. I'm gonna explain it. So it will set due to perspective just like that most days, right? Whenever you're from the ground, the atmosphere is so thick, it always happens, but it's different on every day. But if you go, I filmed this a whole bunch of times. I have my drone, super clear day, 32 degrees or colder, no humidity in the air, super clear. And I watched the sun and it went down, 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 down. Now, if the earth was spinning, it would just keep on going all the way down, but it didn't. It went in 5 minute time. It went from way up here to right here above this apparent horizon. And then it sat here for 10 minutes. This is sped up 2,500%, I think. It sped up and it never went below it. It just disappeared into the perfectly clear sky. I'll show it again right here. Okay. It didn't drop. It sat there for 10 minutes. But my friends at the beach saw the sunset from the bottom up 10 minutes earlier. Okay. It just sat there and faded away.
1,000 times in Pacific Beach, right there in San Diego, I watched the sun dip below the horizon and go away.
And that's because you're not, because one, it can't be above water because there's too much moisture. It has to be super freezing, and you have to be at altitude to see it. But when you think you see the sun disappearing, oops, wrong video. When you think you see the sun disappearing, it looks like it's going below the horizon, but it's really just going beyond that cloud deck. This sun looks like it's about to set, but if we zoom in on it, you'll see that it's not even near.
Why is it not getting smaller?
It is. Well, hold on. One question at a time. It's not setting. I'm expanding I'm zooming in. I'm expanding the space. It's just going away. Now, under certain conditions, like super dry, elevated area. This is in Afghanistan. This is another.
Why is Paul McCartney here?
Yeah,
what's that?
What's Macca doing there? What's Paul McCartney doing?
What's Paul McCartney?
He's in there because the fool on the hill sees the sun going down, but the eyes in his head see the world spinning round, right? This sun is clearly just going away, right? It's clearly just going away. Let me show you one more thing on perspective, and then I'll show you.
I got a sunset that looks like that in my entire
You've
life.
never seen it because you're watching it over water. How many sunsets have you watched from elevation on a super clear day with zero humidity, looking over land?
A bunch of them in Colorado.
Oh, well, no, Colorado, you're looking out over the water.
I mean, I've seen it in the Middle East.
He's showing you video. You're talking about memory.
The sun just goes away.
He's just showing you video right now. He's showing you video, and you're talking about, I remember the sun going down when you weren't analyzing it. You just watched the sun. You weren't paying attention. You're analyzing, and you're using that as scientific evidence. He's got video, and he's analyzing it. And you're going, I remember the sun going down.
Carlos?
So, Dave, go back to the curvature once you get done with that, because if you work with the optics of having binoculars or telescopes and use a ship on the ocean and a stretch of miles away, you shouldn't be able to see you lose perspective using your eyes, but you can still see it.
Oh, yeah. This is kindergarten
if you use
stuff.
any aid like a binocular.
This is it.
So, and we got to go back to the curvature, because that, I think, is going to make things easier to elaborate on everything else.
I think this is the most interesting part.
Yeah, because this proof right here, the top scientists in the world still today, when they're asked about flat Earth, the highest level still use this example. It's hysterical because this is the easiest one to prove, easiest ones to debunk. The top scientists go, just look at a ship, just go in the ocean or go to the beach, look at a ship, and then look at the ship to disappear from the bottom up. That's proof right there. It's going over the curve. It's going over the curve. They still say that.
I think we need to go back because we didn't actually solidify. So I understand the moon is gaseous, or it's not a physical body. But
I don't understand that.
I thought you just said that.
I said that's what I believe. Nobody knows. The moon is the biggest mystery, right? Looking at the moon isn't how you're going to prove where the Earth is flat. So I'd love to get off of that, but if you want to stay there,
but that's curious to me, because the moon, it has a lot to do with how we, as even ancient people, referenced how we even like predict lunar eclipses, different rotational things, even like the wave and how high waves are for surfing. So I think the moon is very important, and it's curious that you have a lot of critiques on the round Earth, but there's no follow up from the flat Earth perspective. I think as flat Earthers, even if I say we should develop some sort of theory to combat these ideas. One of which is your answer with, even if you believe that it's a gaseous form or if it's not a physical form, it does not explain why people in Australia are seeing it at a different angle. Because even if it was,
I just explained it.
No, it's not explained at all.
Look, I got the moon. I just sent it to Johnny.
Opposite end of the room, and draw a smiley face. And one of you is going to see a frowning face. The other one's going to see a smiling face. The room is flat. The ceiling is flat. Okay, you're looking at it from opposite sides. That's all. You've just been so, by the way, I'm not picking on you, but you've been so brainwashed about the standing upside down and seeing the moon upside down that no matter what I say, you can't see it.
Here it is, David Weiss. Listen to this scientist. Turn it up. Listen to this guy. Listen to this guy. Can we have volume and start it over?
Why don't we just put up a video of the moon from Australia versus
listen to this
San
guy.
Diego.
Listen to this guy. Can you start it over, please?
Yes.
Who is this guy?
You see, here is the sea, Mr. Sanders, so calm and apparently unchanging. And yet, it is part of my new conception about the nature of the world at this same sea. Many times in the past history of our Earth, has rolled over the surfaces of the land masses.
Man, this is 9 minutes. So can you speed it up? We're gonna find the piece. Can you speed it up? I thought I had it.
What am I looking for?
We're looking for him talking about the moon as plasma.
No, it's coming up right now. It's coming up right now.
Oh, it is? Okay, go back.
Go
back.
At this
Theory of the flood and the theory of people of other races.
Oh yes, this actual event, the last one, is recorded in all the sacred scriptures of all the old civilizations, from the Hindus to the Bible.
Mr. Foster, before we go on with that, you've made a number of predictions, scientific predictions, which you claim have come true. Now, what are those predictions, and how do you make this claim?
Well, they're all based on the new notion that the physical invariance principles of contemporary science are invalid. And I stated this first in a manuscript reviewed in Australia in 1954. And the validity of this statement was confirmed finally last year at Princeton, when the principle of time reversal invariance was found to be invalid.
Well, who accepts the fact that you have made these predictions accurately?
Well, the facts as such are undeniable and must be accepted because they're documented. And it was accepted as such at Oxford, at the Tasmanian University, and also at the National University.
I thought it was coming up.
The facts as such are accepted, but the explanations and the new views as yet are not.
Do you mean to say that you reject all the basic principles of science established since Aristotle's day?
No, it does not mean that. I state and maintain that those concepts and interpretations of science, which are still based today on Aristotelian logic, have a certain purpose, but that is defined by a statement as that a spade is a spade or a fine chisel is a fine chisel. But
it might be farther forward.
No, it's okay. We can watch this. It's a good setup. Let's just watch
How is it possible, Mr. Foster, that you as an individual can work out these theories when all the other established scientists have computers and all the money of governments behind them, and yet they apparently can't?
Well, I do not claim at all that it is due to my own intellect or to my own penetration. I have been deeply interested from early youth in the real nature of the world, and I held my own views and ideas. But many years ago, about 14 years ago, when I was challenging one of the fundamental conventional principles of science, I had a definite inspiration, not knowledge as such, but an indication and a guidance which I followed, on which I worked very hard and to evolve into a new structure of understanding.
Inspirations are related to thoughts of genius. Do you think or consider yourself to be a genius?
No. I consider myself to be an ordinary, humble person who wants to serve mankind with what man has striven for from the beginning of consciousness, with truth and understanding of the world.
Well, now, one thing, you have a theory about the moon, and we expect to be able to get observable facts about the moon fairly soon. What is your theory?
Well, it is by now rather more than a theory. 10 or 11 years ago, I stated to various scientists that the moon is not a piece of rock, but it is a plasma phenomenon, a cosmic plasma, and that this fact will eventually be confirmed. I made certain predictions which were already confirmed in 1958, and the situation now is coming close to a complete confirmation.
What will be the result if you're proved to be correct in your theories?
The result will be profound and decisive, because it will give proof that a complete reinvestigation of the laws of nature is necessary. Because if the moon is a plasma, no man will ever land on it. The soft landing attempts will all fail. That means that the mass of the moon is less, far less, than is currently assumed. It's in a different state of energy, and it has far less mass. That means there is no more explanation for the tides. If the moon, for example, had only 1,000th part of its current mass, then the tides would only be 2 inches high under conventional theories instead of sometimes 14 feet. And that means that if it is proved that the moon is a plasma, then all gravitational theories are out, and a new concept of the cosmos and of its laws has to be evolved.
That's it right there, boom.
But I don't understand what he means by plasma.
Your theories on the moon.
Can we pause this? Because
well, not anymore. 11 years ago.
He's saying
can we pause it and let Dave answer that?
He's saying it's cosmic plasma.
That's what he thinks it is.
That's what this guy thinks it is.
Who knows what it is? But it's a mystery, is what Dave.
Yeah, we could spend the entire show talking about the moon. Again,
well,
we don't know what
to,
the moon is.
Did you get that image that I sent you? you mind putting that up as an example?
Accumulated evidence is already so much.
Do you believe we landed on the moon?
Stop it, Johnny.
Take this out. I mean, I don't think that. I think that is. I think that landing on the moon is an easy discussion, and you could probably prove that we didn't. To be completely honest with you, but that does not mean that the Earth is not round. So going back to this right here, you were talking about perspective earlier with the lights. This is what I meant by the moon and perspective. If you're on that top person and you're looking at the moon, right? The planet is rotating, so you're seeing that same image wherever you are on that top. If you're on the bottom, you're seeing that same bottom image.
But just reverse.
Sure.
Exactly. That's what he explained.
I know, but with a flat Earth, the moon is rotating in a circle around the flat Earth. So you would be seeing different things at different angles. Also, by the way, going back to your Polaris thing, Polaris does move.
Just like we do.
But no, it isn't like
we do.
This is how we see it. We see it just like this. If you're in North America, you see the moon just like it's depicted right there. In the Southern Hemisphere, you see it just like this every night, every single day, unless it's waning.
Explained it to you. He explained it 3 times.
Hang on a second. Can you pull that picture back up? Pull that picture back up.
Still there.
It's really
Still
easy.
there.
It's going to look different.
So hold on. So listen. Just look at the picture. Now take that curved Earth between the both guys' feet and just flatten it.
Yeah.
You're going to see the same moon. The same way.
That's not what I'm saying. I'm saying in the flat Earth model, I understand that the moon can still be round in the flat Earth model. I'm saying how it rotates around the flat Earth. You're going to see a different face. Yes, you are, because the planet itself is rotating, so you're going to see a different.
The moon upside down proves the globe.
Yeah, but
exactly. That's what I'm trying to say.
In their model, it doesn't rotate.
I'm just showing you that this is an Earth.
No, it does.
Look,
that first model he showed, the moon rotated.
I'm rotating around the Earth. You're still seeing the same.
David, wait up. We don't see what you're seeing.
Can you put him back up?
Oh, yeah, sure. We're seeing just like an image.
Hold on, just a second. Sorry, I gotta bring him back.
Sorry, John.
How do you see the moon upside down on the flat Earth model? That's what we want to know, because we know you will see it upside down if you're in Australia.
It's the same thing.
It's the same thing.
Okay, ready. I'm looking at the United States, right, which is right here. I see the top of the United States right here and the bottom of the United States right here. What are you guys seeing? You're seeing the bottom here and the top here. It's upside down. Just because we're looking across, put a map of the room on the ceiling.
David, that's not what we're saying.
See it at different sides.
David, put that planet right in front of you again. Do that same example you did. Now rotate it in a circle. Just move your arm in like a circle, like this. Just move it like that. Yep, just like that. Everyone, if you had an angle off your shoulder, off your elbow, off your forehead, would be seeing different faces.
You're talking about little different parts, right? I agree with you.
No, on your body, I'm saying, as if the planet was the moon.
When you're looking at a TV from different angles, the person's face, if they're looking at you, they're looking at you on both sides of the room. It doesn't matter. It's a projection into our Earth reality. However it is, it doesn't prove the shape of the Earth. Let's prove the shape of the Earth. Let's prove that we're not a spinning ball.
Do you agree the moon is round and it's a globe?
But
No, I can't. I don't know what it is. I can't prove it. I don't think it's a sphere. It doesn't act like a sphere.
We have. If it was flat, it wouldn't look round from all different angles.
I agree. I don't believe it. I don't believe that it's flat. I believe that it is not a physical object. All right. Because here's one thing. When there's a new moon, okay, when there's a new moon means there's no light on the moon. When it goes new, no one has ever seen it. Not from the International Fake Station, not for the telescope, no infrared. No one's ever seen it for almost 2 full days. 42 hours, I think, is the shortest time that it ever showed up.
Wait,
people go, well, that's because it's so close to the sun. The sun's blinding you. But during a total solar eclipse, where the moon blocks out the sun. Well, if you were on the moon looking at the Earth, you have a full Earth, like we have a full moon. The Earth is 6 times bigger and a lot shinier than the dusty, dirty ball we call the moon. Well, the Earth shine should light up that moon, and we should be able to see it. No one's ever seen it eclipse the moon, ever.
The Earth is not necessarily brighter than the moon. Because the moon has dust and metallic.
The moon is so much brighter because it's not covered in green plants and water.
The Earth has water with water's reflective, but even
metal is
the
more
Earth shine,
reflective.
it's 6 times bigger. Let's just say it's the same as the dusty, dirty ball we call the moon, right? So why can't anyone has ever seen the moon approach, eclipse, or exit the face of the sun? No one's ever seen it.
What do you mean?
I've watched.
No one has ever seen it. They just see the eclipse happen.
Eclipse happen.
You see it slowly happen. I don't understand.
No, you see a darkness of the sun being blocked out, but you don't see any features on the moon ever.
I don't.
No one's ever seen the moon approach the sun. They just see this eclipse happen.
I guess I don't know what you mean by that.
It's so bright you can't.
What about during a total solar eclipse when it's completely blocking out the sun?
We had one 4 or 5 years ago.
Yeah, well, how come no one was able to see the moon?
You're staring at an extremely bright object and an object that's not emitting light. It
blocked it. The sun was 100% blocked.
If I stare into a flashlight, I'm not going to see my finger in front of my face, but I'll see the shadow of it. Correct?
But Dave, it's not completely blocked. That's maybe in a flat Earth model, but in the round Earth model, the sun is round. So if you have a light bulb that's completely round and you just put a plate in front of it, you can still see light behind the plate. You know what I mean? Like you're going to still see light behind that plate. So I guess I don't understand what you're
Here is a distant light, and I'm putting a penny in front of it, it's trying to eclipse.
So bright, you're seeing reflection. When you see an object, you're seeing reflected off.
I got you, but that doesn't look like an eclipse right there.
It looks exactly like an eclipse.
It kind of does.
It literally looks exactly like an eclipse.
It doesn't.
That's not how eclipse goes, right?
So here,
I mean,
here we have.
let's face it, when the eclipse comes,
and then we're going to move the penny right in front of the light, and without moving the light in the distance, and then that looks like an eclipse.
How would this happen on a flat Earth model if you've got the sun and the moon rotating at opposite ends?
Well, the question is how do those things? And this is just me. I'm in this discussion. I'm neutral because I have to be. But how does this planet, this thing that's a bazillion miles away, and this other thing that's a bazillion miles away, just happen to be run right in front of each other? I mean,
Sam,
don't you think that is the odds on that happening?
But that's why they don't happen all the time.
Wait,
at all.
Hold on.
What are the odds of her doing right?
You guys are going to have a lot of time to talk after I leave. Listen, I only have a little over half an hour. Let me answer this, okay? They tell us the sun is 400 times bigger and 400 times farther than the moon, and occasionally we have these eclipses. Well, the chances of that happening are so infinitesimal that it's hard to even imagine a number that big. But it happens.
We can calculate the exact hour.
You're not hearing me. I got to make a point.
You can predict it.
It's really hard to hear. You're not on a mic, and I'm just trying to make a point. So the odds of it happening once are so small, it's ridiculous, but they happen again and again and again, and then they repeat every 18 years. We're corkscrewing through space. Gravity from everything is pulling and pushing, but somehow all the eclipses repeat every 18 years. That doesn't make any sense. That sounds like a geared wheel system. And the way it works is the sun and the moon migrate in between the two tropics. Okay. It takes 6 months for the sun to travel out and 6 months in. The moon does it every 2 weeks, 2 weeks out, 2 weeks in. This is not the scale or speed. And when they come together over a nodal point, that's when we have an eclipse.
This looks like a wheel.
Right? The wheels in the sky keep on turning. So the sun, this is going out to Capricorn. The moon is almost out here. And then when they pass in a mode like this, and then this repeats, it's on an 18-year cycle. There's two eclipse cycles.
This is depicting the eclipse right here.
Yeah, it is right here.
Well, this is not what they see in Alaska. If the sun and the moon are right next to each other, right there, right over Cape Town, essentially in South Africa, they're going to see something completely different than what's in Iceland. But they're not seeing that. They're seeing the same exact thing. Another thing is that your excuse on the other one was that sounds like a wheel or something, but you just depicted a wheel. The whole thing about the eclipse.
I'm showing you that they're moving on like gears. They're not moving randomly in a random beehive. We have a thing called the three-body problem. Are you aware of the three-body problem?
No, I've never heard of that.
So, well, it's something you should look into, right? The sun, right? The ridiculous story of a gas ball holding on to all of the planets, and they're holding on to them all in a row across the same plane. The sun holds on to the Earth and Mercury and Venus and Jupiter and Saturn at all these ridiculous distances, but somehow the gravity of the Earth can hold on to the moon. And when the moon comes around towards the sun, it doesn't speed up, and when it pulls away from the sun, it doesn't slow down because the Earth's gravity only affects the moon, but the sun's gravity doesn't.
Elliptical orbit. It does speed up and slow down in an elliptical orbit.
The moon does not.
Yes,
the moon does not. They say that the Earth does.
No.
They say that the Earth does.
The moon goes around the Earth in an elliptical orbit.
The moon is elliptical. For sure. That's how we get
but it
waves.
doesn't speed up and slow down when it goes towards the sun and away from the sun. It's not correlated to that. You're incorrect. Look it up. So here's the problem. The three-body
none of
problem.
them
You can take
speed
the
up.
world's best supercomputer.
It is elliptical. It is elliptical.
I agree. It's elliptical, but it's not. Well, they tell us it's elliptical, but so hold on. You can create a supercomputer model. You got a sun, and it's holding on to a planet, and it goes into orbit, and it'll work perfectly. You can predict where it's going to be for days, weeks, months, years. Okay. Then you add one more body, another planet or a moon, and the entire model goes into chaos mode and never repeats. No computer can figure out what it's going to do next.
Show that graphic. Show that graphic.
60 some odd objects in our solar system.
Show that graphic of the sun shooting through the universe. This is what we're supposedly on right here.
Yeah, but
what you started off with.
I've never seen this.
The graphic like that. Like this, like how do we go around the sun? We got to go past it and then we slow down. How are you going to go past? Like, look at this.
I think
this is ridiculous.
I think that this.
Do you guys understand what that is?
I understand what this is, but this right here also already disproves what Dave just said. He said that all the planets are on the same plane, but right here, it even shows you that they're not on the same plane.
Yes, they are.
Shows you?
They're all
cartoon
keeping
shows
up with the sun. No, you're not looking at this properly. They're all even with the sun. They're all keeping up with the sun.
Look, they're not because you're in a 3D space. On a 2D, if you just take that one light from behind where it's like pooping out, then yeah, that's on the same plane. But no, see, they're all on different angles. It's like a spiral, like a Christmas tree from the.
So you think we're doing that? We're shooting through the universe like that? You think that?
I mean, who knows? But one thing we do know about the universe is that everything needs force. Force equals ma, mass times. You need force. So
you believe
if you're
that
working
this is happening? You believe this is happening?
I mean, this seems.
You believe that's happening?
This seems more plausible than individual domes, where if you have two people standing right next to each other, the domes wouldn't clash and make confusing things for the two people.
It's your dome of vision, not a physical dome. Your dome of vision.
I don't know what that means. Like how long that you can see.
It means like, let's say you and I were 150 miles apart from each other across the flat earth plane. Well, I'm not going to be able to see you. The atmosphere becomes opaque within that 150 miles, and I see within my dome of vision. If you're standing in the fog, you could be reading, I'd say you're at the train station reading your train schedule, and it's super foggy. You can't see anyone else near you, but you can see your train schedule. The person holding their schedule that's 10, 15 feet away from you, they can see theirs, but they can't see you. They're in their dome of vision.
I think that has a lot of holes, especially since that people have different vision types. People have.
So instead of looking at the moon and asking all these questions, what's your one proof of the globe? Because I'm offering 2 Bitcoins for 1 proof of the globe.
Well, I mean, I think any of these sort of debates where you're offering something, especially like, I mean, and this is another thing. I think that.
I'm just asking. All right, I'm offering nothing.
Okay, no offer.
Just
no offer.
No offer.
Forget the offer.
My question.
What's your best proof of the globe?
I mean, I have 2 questions just to get a read off of this. The first question is to do more with the flat Earth. It's what. So if gravity does not exist on a flat Earth, so if we are on a flat Earth, what is explaining what we would call gravity?
Very good question. So the whole theory of gravity needs 96% dark matter and dark energy, which they say they've never seen, they've never measured it, but it has to be there for gravity to work. So cool story, right? So
actually, I don't even know what that is.
What does that mean? What does that mean, Dave?
Works. It's a giant free energy system. The moon is the anode, the sun is the cathode, the salt water carries the current, and the land is the salt bridge. And we have there's free energy everywhere. Tesla proved it. Old technology has it, and they're hiding that from us. And we'll get into why. But the Earth has a measurable negative charge. When you lift up off the Earth, there's measurable voltage. I think it's 100 volts at just a meter off the ground, and it goes 200 volts at 2 meters. It just goes up from there. So when you're off the ground, the negative charge of the unmoving ground says, hey, it has a weak force, just like they say gravity is a weak force. And they say, down is this way. So if I had a handful, if I had a helium balloon, ping pong balls, and rocks, and I held them in the air over a pool and I dropped them, the ping pong ball is going to go up because it's less dense than the air. The rocks and the ping pong balls are going to fall down. The ping pong balls are going to sit on top of the water, and the rocks are going to go to the bottom just because of buoyancy and density. The weak negative charge says, hey, down is this way. Down is down for me. Down is down for Australia. It's not up. It's down. Down is down. Up is up. Same for everybody. Left and right, forward and backwards are all relative to whatever direction you're facing. right? So that's how it works. So one way to test it is you take these tinfoil triangles, you put you crank up the negative charge so it's stronger than the Earth, and it goes up. Okay, what is that? Defying gravity, or is it defying something else?
I mean, this is just simple magnetism. So you're just pushing up against the magnet that is the bottom aluminum. You're
There's
charging
no magnet there. It's just a negative charge we're putting into it.
That's what magnets are. You can charge different metals to make them magnetized.
This is tinfoil. It's not magnetized.
You're magnetizing it with a current.
But what I'm saying is, I'm just showing you an example where electricity can defy what? You know, a mag train isn't defying. It's floating on a magnetic source. It's not defying gravity. It's defying electricity.
I don't understand.
The only two forces in this world are electricity and magnetism.
Neil deGrasse Tyson said it himself. He's on video saying, when it comes to gravity, you know, we don't know anything really.
I don't even know who that is. But
Neil deGrasse Tyson?
Huh? Chocolate Jesus?
You don't know who that is? Neil deGrasse Tyson?
I don't. Anyone who's going to be a scientist and do more YouTube videos than science, I maybe don't listen to that guy. When you're talking about
that's a beautiful thing.
When you're talking about this though, this does not disprove gravity. This just proves that you can magnetize metal. Gravity is a different thing, and it's a very strong force.
Why does a helium balloon go up? How come it defies gravity?
Because it's lighter, and it's no way.
Has
Just
nothing
wait.
to do with gravity.
No, it's creating lift. It's like planes. We create lift.
It's less
it's a
dense
force
than the air around it.
How does a balloon create lift?
So a tennis ball floating.
A helium balloon, just like a light balloon or whatever like that. The molecules, they're moving. And that is moving the plastic piece up. It's creating lift. It's not like it's just the gas is just sitting there moving.
It's not creating lift. The weight of the air is pushing, is giving it thrust upwards because the air is heavier.
That would be counter to the other point about water. If the atmosphere on a flat Earth is all water and that's how you have humidity and that's why you can't see stuff, then this helium thing wouldn't work in that model. You have to have molecules that have weights and have movement. Everything in this reality has movement. Force equals ma. Everything.
It works perfectly on a flat Earth and a ball Earth. Next.
Hold on, Carlos.
It doesn't actually.
You have a question?
Yeah. So when you're touching on gravitational force, then you have the ocean. 2/3 of the globe, supposedly the globe is ocean, right? The Earth spins 1,000 miles per hour on itself. And there's no drop of water that escapes from the gravitational pull. While birds can fly, you can add up what you want. Birds can fly, insects can fly, helium balloons can float in the air. In the meantime, we have this powerful gravitational force that keeps the Earth's crust and the water without dripping anywhere. How can you a bird has the power to propel itself in the air with such a gravity power that can keep the whole ocean.
And why does saltwater only have tides and freshwater doesn't? And how come the gravity of the moon can pull the tides? How come it doesn't pull it right off the Earth? And then also the other thing, Neil deGrasse Tyson, you're the high priest of scientism. You don't know who he is, but he's like the lead spokesman for scientism. Says the way tides work is you got the sun here and the moon here, and if the Earth is in the middle, there's a high tide on one side and another high tide on the other. He says, because the moon is pulling the water and the moon also pulls the Earth away from the water on the other side. That's the official explanation for tides. I say, cool story, bro. Right?
I'm talking about.
Is Neil deGrasse? Is this guy a physicist?
How do you not know who Neil deGrasse Tyson is?
Why would I know?
He's been in
person?
Japan, dog.
Do you know who John Lennon
I'm not
is?
gonna know every Japanese person. Is he Japanese?
No, but I'm not. I don't think Neil deGrasse Tyson's big in Japan.
Getting back to
I'm not Japanese, but I just don't understand how we're able to. Is this guy? I don't know how he's able to talk on all science. Like he can talk about immunology, physics,
he's the Fauci.
chemistry.
He's the Fauci of astrophysics.
Yeah, he is.
He's an astrophysicist.
He's the Fauci.
He's the failed actor, actually. Hey, so check this out. You said we're talking about magnetism. This is a Van de Graaff generator. I got a metal plate here, and we're putting a negative charge in it. When that negative charge gets stronger than the Earth's, wood goes up. Wood chips, okay?
Yeah.
Paper, hair, all sorts of things. It's not defying gravity, right? Now, yes, iron could be magnetic, but I don't know. I've never heard of wood being magnetic, right?
It can be positively charged, though, not magnetic.
Right. I agree. Listen.
It's like static electricity is not magnetism.
Right. So it's the negative charge is overwhelming the Earth's weak negative charge, and it
The positive charge is overwhelming. And positive.
No, the negative charge.
Well, negative charge.
Yeah.
Pulls it in, not repulses.
Okay.
Right.
So my next question has to be with the zooming in of technology and zooming out. I know we showed a little bit, but I know.
Let's go back. We never finished. We were starting on the boat.
Like
the boat
to me,
sinking.
that is the biggest question I have.
Right? What do you mean
by
zooming in and zooming
the
out?
ship sinking in the or going over the curve in the ocean? You know when you see ships on the beach and they go over the ocean, everybody thinks that's because it's going over a curve, right?
Is that what you believe?
No.
Right.
I mean,
stop, Dave.
Why do you think it goes over?
You're not going to be able to see that. You're assuming an Earth where you can easily see the curve because it's not so massive. What you're really seeing is a refraction of the water, and the image is getting like a mirage. It's getting refracted. So
you're not really seeing it.
You're not really seeing it.
Oh shit! Okay, perfect. Watch this.
Well, my question. Okay, how far before you see a curve?
Let's see. Okay, so you can't see it right here, and then we're zooming in.
Can I ask?
We're not
as
zooming
we're
in.
watching this too, why don't we ever see more water? We always see the same.
So that's
water.
a mirage, right
Why
there?
aren't we seeing more water beyond?
Yeah,
the
like
ship?
on the back of the.
Why aren't we seeing more water?
That's a mirage.
It's a refraction.
We do.
Of light.
That's a
let
mirage.
me explain.
Hold on, 8 people are talking. Johnny?
Well, as you zoom in, we always see the same water, though. As you zoom in, we don't see any water beyond that boat as he zooms in. If it's flat,
and this
should we
one you
not
don't
see?
because of the waves. But when we look at things like the black swan picture I showed earlier, you can see the water for miles and miles and miles beyond it.
Why not
right?
here?
What?
You're saying the waves are blocking it?
There's like no
well,
way.
right here, it's totally calm, and you can
That's
see
not
the
a
water
video, though.
way beyond it.
That's a spliced photo
let me
of two
explain
things spliced together.
Why you can't see it. Look, so imagine this is a boat, all right? This is a boat, and this is a wave, right? This is the wave, and it's not really covering the boat. But as the boat gets smaller, due to perspective, if I could do this, it'll start disappearing behind those waves in the foreground. As something goes into the distance, it gets smaller. So a little wave, a millimeter above your eye level or approaching your eye level, will block an entire city line behind you. So
yeah, but your eyes are not at ground at sea level. Right?
No, I understand, but everything compresses. The way our eyes see, everything, the sky and the ground compress together, and a little wave here will block out an entire city here because everything gets smaller and smaller and smaller as it goes into the distance.
So,
if our
hypothetically,
sun was
though,
right near us, it would look like this. You move it away, it just gets smaller and smaller and smaller.
So if the camera were high enough, you're saying we could see unending ocean waves, hypothetically. Right?
Well, yeah, you can see farther until the atmosphere becomes so thick that you can't zoom in no matter what zoom you have because the air becomes opaque over distance. Just like a long swimming pool, you can't see the far end of the swimming pool even though the water's clear.
Explain the black swan right there behind you. Explain that. Break it down.
So black swan, this camera is 1 foot off the ground. So according to Globe Math, the horizon should be 1.2 miles away. This is 9.4 miles, and not only can we see the entire thing, we can see the land. The water beyond it for dozens of miles. And again, there's more horizon beyond this. You just can't see it, right? There should be 59 feet of curvature here, but we can still see the surface of the water. The only explanation the Globers have is that refraction lifts it up and stops it right at level. It doesn't lift it up high. It just lifts up and says, oh, look, it's perfect. You're seeing a mirage. Everything beyond there is a mirage. That's ridiculous. That's the dumbest thing ever.
So if you go up on the top of that structure there, really at the top there, which is...
You'll be able to see farther.
Okay, how far could you see on a flat Earth?
Until the atmosphere blocks you. Here's a perfect
and
example
how far
of that.
is that?
Well, it's different every single day. This is a viewing spot. Watch this carefully. This is a viewing spot in Illusia, France. And out here is Mount Canigou, but you can't see it because it's 175 miles away. At 175 miles, there is over a mile of curvature. I'm sorry. The top of Mount Canigou would be a mile below the curve with using the Earth curve calculator. The top should be a mile away. But as the sun migrates in between the two tropics, there's a couple days a year, twice a year, the sun will line up with Mount Canigou. And as it goes beyond it, all of a sudden you can see it. The light bouncing off Mount Canigou can't push through the thickness of the atmosphere, so it looks like sky just because you can't see it. But when the sun backlights it, here's the mountain. The entire mountain is here, and the top where the mouse is should be a mile below the curve, right? But there is no curve. It's right there. It's not a mirage, because as you see, as the sun goes farther away, it'll block the sun. And the only explanation is, oh, the sun and the mountain are far below the curve. They're just refracting up and stopping magically at eye level.
What elevation was that photo taken at?
I would say, could you get a photo of the full mountainside? Because I'm pretty sure it's different than what that looks like.
It doesn't matter. The entire top of the mountain should be a mile below the curvature.
And how tall is that mountain?
Any of it. Go look it up. Go listen. I don't have all the numbers in front of me. Go look it up. And by the way, in the app under We Can See Too Far, there's videos that break it down, give you all of the information. We've taken the time to put all the information for people like you to look. But again, belief is the enemy of knowing. It's easy to believe. It takes time and effort to know.
Is this app free?
Yes. What's that? It's no, you have to pay for it. It's $3. So you buy me a half of a beer.
Hey,
right?
No, nobody. Dad always said, "Don't hate a guy for making $1."
Yeah, but I mean, I think that's the thing.
Why
about
would it be
all
free?
If it was
By the
free,
way,
because
all of the information is
free
free on the internet.
right? The
Good
Bible's
luck
free.
finding it. Good luck finding it.
He's not Jesus. The Bible's free. It should be free. Do you do anything for free? Do you work for free?
Listen,
I don't work
for free, but I don't get any money for proving the Earth is not round. You know, like I think that
you'd be rich if you did.
Exactly.
If you wanted to spend
I understand what you're
500
saying. That his thing is his livelihood.
I could just
is
as easily sit here and say, you know what? If we didn't focus on the Earth being flat, we could focus on actual conspiracy theories that are really screwing us. This could be a psyop, just trying to get us off track.
It's possible,
you know.
But let me tell you why this is important. Because for me, they're lying to us. If they're lying to us about, let's say, Iran-Contra, Gulf of Tonkin, and those are old ones, JFK,
a lot more than that.
You know, and then you keep going. Like, what else are they lying to us about? And so the question is, you asked this at the beginning, and I think it's a very important question.
Yeah, why?
Why would they lie about this? And this is not saying whether it is or isn't, but the reason.
5 more minutes.
Okay.
Let's get into that. Let's get into the why.
Before why, let me just say something for 10 seconds. Do you know what Operation Paperclip is?
Yeah.
Do you know that NASA was formed by Nazis?
Yes.
Okay, so now do you know all our space information comes from NASA?
I mean, some comes from
they control all the space information. Look into it.
Okay.
So Nazis who changed their name from Werner von Braun was Hitler's right-hand man. They bring him over.
Yeah.
He directs the fake moon missions. The Nazis form NASA. Dave Weiss, just have that in your mind. I mean,
well, you know what would be cool to get from Dave is you said you're using a calculation for the curvature. What is that calculation that you're using? You're saying that it's I forgot what.
Yeah, it's not my calculation. If you look up the Earth Curve calculator, there's 3 different ways to do it, and they all come out about the same. But if you take the Earth Curve calculator of the basic one of 8 inches per mile squared, and go for 2,000 miles or 20,000 miles, it doesn't work. It doesn't calculate negative numbers. It works perfectly accurate for the first couple thousand miles, 2,000 miles. It doesn't matter. I just need it to work for 200 miles. And it works completely fine. But here's what got me into flat Earth. I said, okay, they're just seeing things too far. And I said, there's a buoy that's off on my beach about 11 miles away. And I said, and I rounded down to give the globe every benefit. I said, what's the curvature at 10 miles? If you're just at sea level, and it said the curvature is 66 feet. So then I went onto some globe troll sites and I said, what are they saying the curvature is? Like the meta bunk or whatever, that slime ball. And he says, oh, no. You're the thing you're looking at is halfway down and you're halfway on the other side. So it's only half of the curvature. That's ridiculous. But I'll give it to him, 33 feet. So I went down to my beach, perfectly calm morning. I bought $1,000 camera tripod, zoomed in. There it is. There's the water for dozens of miles beyond it. Okay. Right there. And the buoy's only maybe 10 feet high. There should be 33 feet, really 66 feet of curvature. Nope, it's right there. And I could see the water for miles and miles and miles beyond it. So that right there said, okay, maybe the Earth is just bigger. So the distances that we've seen, even without infrared, now they're using infrared and we're seeing, over 1,000 miles. The Earth would have, the radius of the Earth is just under 4,000 miles, the radius from the center to the surface, right? For the distances that we're seeing, the radius would have to be like 100,000 miles, okay? If the Earth is 100,000 miles versus 4,000 miles in the radius, we got a big problem also, all right? So either way, it's a massive lie. And again, you can go look at that curvature calculation yourself and figure it out.
I guess there's a difference between curvature and drop. Those aren't the same thing.
If the Earth has a radius, as you move that radius, it has a drop, an ever accelerating drop. Okay, my arm's up here. I move it a little bit. My fingers have dropped just a tiny bit. I move it more, drop, and then it starts dropping exponentially.
What do you believe the difference is?
Drop and curvature are two different things.
Well, what explain?
Drop is what he's saying. Curvature, you can use trigonometry to get the curve of a let's just say a circle. You can get a curvature, but it's going to be different than the number you get for a drop.
What does a sniper use?
He uses curvature.
A sniper uses curvature?
If you take any scout, sniper, and military guy that does long distance shooting, they will use gravity, curvature, wind to calculate their shot.
Right.
So if the Earth was not round,
Eddie has an answer to that. Carlos, Dave, hold on.
Trusting NASA?
Dave, hold on.
No,
Carlos, go on.
Just like
hold on.
Look, Dave, we don't have to be a scientist for that one. What does it matter if you say drop or curvature if 80 miles away from your eyesight at eye level, you should whether it curves down or drops, it should be a mile below your eye level.
No,
right?
they're
So
different things.
It doesn't matter if you call it drop or curvature. You shouldn't be able to see it. You know,
right?
There's got whatever.
The fact, hold on. The fact that you can see a fucking ship 100 miles away with a telescope, that shouldn't be the case.
Exactly.
If it's a globe, it couldn't be. It's not possible. And you say refraction. Refraction doesn't explain that either.
We have testimony from submarines navigators that say when they're sitting on the bottom of the abyssal plain, they can see other submarines over 100 miles away. There should be a mountain over a mile high between them. You'd have to believe that the sonar climbs the mountain, hits the submarine, bounces back, climbs the mountain, comes back, and they can see it. That's not how sonar works. Anything in its way, from a fish to a pile of dirt, will bounce back and hit them, right? And also the same on the surface of the water. There's guys in the gunneries, whatever, that say they can take a pencil thin laser beam and light up a ship over 100 miles away. There should be a mountain of water over 6,000 feet tall.
Yep. So exactly what Carlos said. No matter if that 8 inches per mile square is totally accurate or not, if it's a little less, at 100 miles, according to that formula, there should be over 6,000 feet of curve. But if it's off and it's 4,000 feet of curve or 3,000, it doesn't matter. At 100 miles, you can't laser point and target another ship, which the Navy, they do. And there's a microwave telecommunication satellites that are 150 towers that are 50 feet high, and this is real, and they're 150 miles away, and they only work if there's no obstruction. There can't be any obstruction. Microwave telecommunications, if they have 50-foot towers, as long as there's nothing in its way, it could go on forever.
It's line of sight. Line of sight. It doesn't curve over anything. Here's the other thing. This is what, you go up, the Earth should drop down, the horizon shouldn't get higher on a ball, but this is what we experience. And then, so here's an example. If you're using the Earth curve calculator, if you're flying at 39,000 feet, the distance to the distance to the horizon is 242 miles. Well, if you're on the surface of the Earth, 242 miles away, there should be a 39,050 foot drop. Well, an airplane already up 39,000 feet, you add those two numbers together. When you're flying in an airplane, the horizon that you should see is 78,000 feet below you. You don't know how high that is. You two spy planes don't fly that high. 78,000 feet. But the next time you're on an airplane on a clear day, look out the window on one side, look at the other, look at the horizon, draw an imaginary line, and it comes right between your eyes.
Totally.
Okay?
It's always eye level.
It should be almost 80,000 feet below you, but it's not. It's at eye level. Airplanes fly straight and level over an Earth plane. They don't spin and dive over a spinning, wobbling globe. That's just insanity to believe that.
There's got to be some curve at 100 miles in the ocean, whether it's 8 inches per mile square or fucking 2 inches.
You feel the plane just going like this a little bit?
No, because that's not how it's flying. When you're flying on a Earth, you're assuming that it just here's the ball and you're flying like this and you're just always trying to curve around this ball, right? That's what
it should be.
No, the whole atmosphere, everything around the Earth, everything is rotating around this ball, right? And this plane that is on this huge, the planet is so massive. You can say it's 4,000
But there's a
miles
curve though.
massive.
No, you're talking about massive, but call it massive, call it huge, call it gigantic. There should be curve. There's a formula for the curve. It isn't just like it's round, but it appears to be flat. There's got to be curve, and that's the formula. At 100 miles,
flying for
there's
an hour,
6,000 feet of curvature.
The horizon should drop 30 miles. If you don't nose down, you're going to be 30 miles higher in the sky. 30 miles in 1 hour. That's a mile every 2 minutes.
Math. It's not flat. If you're saying it's a round, then there's got to be curve.
You don't need a curve.
You got to account
One, you have
for the
gravity affecting on you while you're flying. You're trying to push up while
gravity is keeping you.
What else would it be keeping you? Centrifugal force or positive negative? How does the positive and negative
you gotta
affect
account
the
for the
metal
curve?
plane?
If you're saying there's the world is curved or a ball, you have to account for it. You're just saying no, you don't have to account for it. Gravity is just going to account for it.
That's why we have gyroscopes.
They don't account for it. They don't account. Gyroscopes.
It's why we have gyroscopes on a plane. I mean, it's trying to give you an ability. I mean, I'm not a pilot, so I'm not going to be able to explain it completely perfectly. But when you're flying in a plane, I've been in the front of a plane before. Right. The horizon is just, it's like you can see it kind of tilting on the front, and the plane is being brought down by gravity while lift is trying to take it up. So it's in this constant battle of trying to keep this plane afloat. It's not like it just hovers in place because there's magnets pulling up on it and it's metal. So gravity is pulling it down while you're pushing forward. Whenever you have a downward force and a pull like this,
when you're in an airplane, when you're in an airplane, and the pilot starts to
you just so down.
Guys, I got 8 more minutes, so let me get a couple points out, and then you guys are free to not have me rudely interrupt. When you're taking a snooze in an airplane and the pilot just starts nosing down to, hey, we're getting close to the airport, maybe a half hour away, you wake up immediately. You notice that little bit of change. But the speeds that we're flying through this universe are insane. Here's a hypersonic sled. Ready? Watch it carefully because you're not going to be able to see it. It's going by at Mach 8.6. Did you see it? Okay. Mach 8.6. This is how fast this thing is going. Well, we're orbiting the sun 10 times faster than that. Okay. And we're orbiting the sun.
60,000 miles an hour.
Yeah, 66,000. It's 10 times faster. And we're chasing the sun 90 times faster than that. Okay. In the elliptical speeding up and slowing down orbits, but somehow, water never friggin' moves. You don't sense any of that. I mean, go outside, clear your head, look around. You're not moving. You're perfectly still. The earth is perfectly calm. Sam's favorite picture. This doesn't move. I mean, the tiniest movement. Tap your foot on the side of that beach. Bam, a wave will go all the way across. Right? We're not moving. Right? To believe that we're corkscrewing through space, but you can build balancing rocks perfectly. It's insanity. We're not moving.
No. People always say,
it's total insanity.
People always say, when you're on a plane, you don't feel it, and you're going 500 miles an hour, you don't feel it because you're going straight. If you were going 500 miles an hour in a circle, you would feel it the whole time. You would be pressed against the side of the plane the whole time. You would feel it 100% of the time. So
did you not just disprove flat Earth then? Because planes going in circles?
Let me explain. It's a horrible example because
the planes are not going in circles. They're going like this and like this and like that and like that and like this, like this.
Yeah, but take a flight from, let's say, San Diego to New York, right? You go straight. Okay, now go from Chile to New Zealand. It's not a straight line.
You have to go back to a straight line to LA and then another straight line. It's a bunch of straight lines.
Yeah, you're going
spinning
up and around.
Planes fly in straight lines.
Sure.
Okay. They're not constantly turning. They're not. Okay. So if they were, you would feel it the whole fucking time. So we're moving. The Earth and the sun, according to the heliocentric model, is not moving in a straight line. We're spinning on our own axis at 100 miles an hour or 1,000 miles an hour at the equator. So we're spinning. We don't feel that spin. And we're spinning around the sun at 60,000 miles an hour. And the sun is spinning around the center of the Milky Way at 600,000 miles an hour. We're spinning three different ways at incredible speeds. And when you're spinning, you feel the spin. If we were going straight, then you could use that, on a plane, we're going 500 miles an hour. I don't feel it. But we're not going straight. We're constantly spinning. We're spinning on our own axis. We're spinning around the sun at 60,000 miles an hour. And then the sun is spinning around the center of the Milky Way at 600,000. We're spinning totally different directions, and we don't feel shit. We're
and getting back to the plane routes, look, check this out. Perth to Los Angeles. This is what FlightAware says is the shortest route, but this isn't the way they go. When they go from Perth to Los Angeles, this is the route. They fly in straight lines. Perth to Malaysia, and then a straight line here. Right, the routes that they tell us they're going on airplanes are ridiculous.
Well, that's
if the
over
Earth
land,
was a
right?
ball going from Buenos Aires to Perth, again, this is the straightest route. But you're not allowed to fly over Antarctica because we could disturb the penguins. So you just go around it.
Could it be because there are no airports over Antarctica and they want a place to land if there's an emergency?
Listen, but there's bigger stretches of ocean. That's the same problem.
What about Pacific Ocean?
You got Easter Island out here. You got plenty of places to land. This would be the route that they take. But that's not the route that they take. This is the route that they take. They go from Perth. They go all the way up to either Miami or Houston. Then they stop in LA. Then they stop in Sydney. They go over here. It takes 26 hours. Sometimes they go this way over to Europe, Singapore.
A lot of major cities.
Right? They don't cut right under a ball. Right. That's not the way it works.
That's a flat Earth model, by the way. That's not.
That's a top-down globe that you just.
No, that's actually
No, it's not. Your globe is a flat Earth wrapped around a sphere.
The globe.
That's literally a globe that you just flatten. That's what that is.
No,
untrue.
It's the opposite.
Exactly.
The globe.
Look it up. The history of that map is a globe that you flatten down. That's what that globe. I
totally, but it's the opposite. It was flat, and then they made it a globe. It works both ways.
Right. And listen, the whole idea that we've known the Earth is a globe for 2,000 years, nonsense. The story of Eratosthenes is nonsense. They were teaching flat Earth across the world in the 1920s and 30s. Okay, everyone in America was taught the Earth was flat in the 1920s. Okay,
he's got interviews with dudes in their hundreds.
And I interviewed an old 102-year-old woman, and she was taught in public schools, not religious schools. Here's the thing. You want to prove the Earth is a globe? They can put this to bed right away, and then I'll get into why the lie, and then I got to roll. They say Antarctica is 13,000 miles around, right? We get 2 airplanes. We go to the base over here. We refuel, fill them with Neil deGrasse Tyson, flat earthers, ball earthers, teachers, professors, and one plane, 1,000 feet in the air, just follows the coastline, and everybody watches the coastline. And then the other plane goes this way, follows the coastline. 9 hours later, 6,500 miles later, they should meet over here. But for some reason, they don't. They can't do it because the last person to try that was Captain Cook. It took him 3.5 years. He went over 60,000 miles going all the way around because Antarctica is not the continent at the bottom of a ball. It's a massive edge of our known world.
Where did you get that from?
What's that?
Where did you get that from? This little map of his.
This is the track Captain Cook take. Look it up. They did it 3 times. It took him over 3.5 years. He went over 60,000 miles. Okay. Amelia Earhart, this is her trip, right? She east and west are circles. So you can circumnavigate in circles because no one on a flat Earth, you can only circumnavigate east and west. Well, billions of people have done it. Billions of people have circumnavigated east and west. 0 people have done it north south. 0. That's a problem.
I don't know what that means.
What that means is you fly around the world this way. No one's done it, but they fly around the world this way. It works. And the way that works on a flat Earth is like this. At the center, we have a magnetic source. We believe it's a mountain. All compasses will point to it. So I'm trying to push this compass west and check this out. West is a circle. I have to keep that needle pointed towards the center. So I'm dead reckoning west, but I'm going in a circle. Weird, right? Doesn't prove the Earth is flat because it works on a ball also. Okay. I could go east. Same thing. I got to keep turning to make it a circle. All right. The needle always has to point towards the magnetic north. So I'm trying to dead reckon east. Hey, I went to left New York. I went east. I got back to where I am. Oh, the earth is a ball. No, not true. Now, if I try to dead reckon west without turning, if I don't correct to the north, I'm going south. Bam. South is every direction away from magnetic north, right? If the earth was a ball, you should be able to go this way and then pop up over here. It's never been done. Never been done.
Like
okay?
Pac-Man, where you go through one end, you come through the other end.
Well, no. If that you need a Pac-Man flat Earth to make that work, but nobody's ever done it.
You're talking about like a full rotation.
And then the guy that said he did it
circumnavigate north to south. It's always done east to west. It's never
East
done.
and west.
And you can explain that if in a flat Earth, because no one ever. Because if you go south over the Antarctic, who knows what's out there? Nobody knows what's out there.
So no one's ever flown over Antarctica, is what you're saying?
No one's ever. You can go out.
They have.
Nazis and aliens.
Yeah, there's and Admiral Byrd's been out there. Operation High Jump, Operation
New Schwabenland,
Fishbowl.
How about we just go? We all take a job over in Antarctica. They have companies right now. You can go apply.
Dude,
you can work down
we've
there.
talked to people who have tried to get to Antarctica.
At the swarm, we had a guy that said that he went to Antarctica, and he's like, "Well, you can't really do nothing."
Yeah, I mean it's like a national reserve.
it's so hard to get there. It is so hard to get there. Like you're putting your life in danger to go there. We had a guy.
Hard to get there.
Here's a map that was found.
It's hard to travel outside of where they want you to be.
That's impossible. Exactly.
Yeah.
So they got a
but
little
like
spot
you
for
can get there. You just go to Chile, whatever.
Yeah,
like you can
There's
get
a little
there.
spot. That's
He
like going
flew.
down
He took a boat in. He said he almost died.
Let me ask you a question. So this is the ZQ pilot. This guy was gonna fly, circumnavigate north pole to pole, and so he went from the North Pole, Alaska, over here down to these islands, over here, Santiago. Then he went here to the South Pole, and he said, "Oh, the weather was too bad," so he turned around and came back. We're like, "Oh well, he's not gonna get the world record." Well, Guinness gave him the world record for circumnavigation. Does that look like circumnavigation to you? Right.
I mean, he did
All
go
he
down
did
and up, though,
was
right?
he went down here, he touched the post, and then he came back. Right. So that's not circumnavigation. That's easily done on a flat Earth.
That's
no one's ever gone down
backwards.
here and popped up over here. So why the lie? Okay. They've got us in a prison and we don't see the walls. If you put a wall around someone, hey, you can't leave California, you can't leave the United States, you can't go past the equator. Everyone wants to go beyond it. We're human. We want to see what's on the other side of that wall. So they put us in a prison for our mind. And that prison is the globe. They want us to believe that we are insignificant. We're spinning out of control, lost in space. An asteroid could take us out at any moment. On Halloween, NASA says, "Oh, we saw a jack-o'-lantern asteroid. It almost missed us." And just yesterday, they said they saw patriotic color supernova or something. The dumbest crap ever. They're literally just keeping us dumb, keeping us fascinated with space. When were you introduced to the heliocentric model and space travel? And the answer is before you can talk. And did they show you anything other than cartoons? And the answer is no. You've only seen cartoons. You haven't seen anything real from space because space doesn't exist as how we say it. So the other point is, these people that are running the world are evil. They're devil. They worship Satan, whatever name you want to give it. And they don't want you knowing that you are at the center of creation. They don't want you to know that you have true power and nobody has power over you. They don't want you to know that the only power they have over you is in your imagination. Because imagine this. Everyone sees your podcast. Sam, this goes viral. 325 million people in the United States watch it tomorrow.
Hell yeah.
Hell yeah.
See us in San Diego.
And then they all go, "Oh, you know what? I'm just going to ignore the government." Well, guess what? Government's done. We won't even know who they are because no one will be paying any attention to them. So they don't want us to know that we have this God-given or natural free will that no one's allowed to take from us. They know that they can't take it from us. They only know that we can give it to them. So they keep us living in fear, living in lack. They keep us believing that this is all there is, Truman. There's nothing else to discover, right? It's all programming for your mind. And then the amazing thing is I have to give them big credit to the elite. They have brainwashed people to fight for their own enslavement. It's unfriggin' real, right? People, no matter what you show them, did you see the other day with the guy coming out of the vaccine center convulsing and nobody got out of line? They just wheeled him out and everyone still went in to get their shot. I mean, they have us believing utter nonsense. They have us believing that we are insignificant, that we have no power, and they do it all with cartoons. They have us believing complete and total
I agree
nonsense.
with you there. I just don't think that having the Earth be flat around impacts that at all.
The reason
isn't what matters.
Let's just for a second
but
say
the lie doesn't make any sense. Like, there's no purpose.
it does make sense. Why? Because
no, I just said there's no purpose. Not that.
There is purpose, and
What's the purpose?
And I know I've been arguing one side, but for me, it's just it goes along the lines of like letting us know how not special are, because what happens is now we're on a rock hurling through space. We can't do anything about it, and now these beings from other planets are visiting, and they have all power. They're the most powerful things in the world.
Viruses, asteroids,
but you're mixing
aliens.
something. So
It's all the same.
No, I'm not
it's all the
mixing
same.
it.
It's all the same.
It's,
that's what I mean.
it's all layers of it.
No, I mean that. So you're saying that because we're on this planet, we're just hurling through space. We're not special. But what I'm saying is that we could be equally special on that or a flat Earth. Because on a flat Earth, we have no control on the planet.
But
on
it
the
changes
moon or
what
whatever.
the game is. It changes the playing board.
What does it change?
Right. There's
changes
unlimited resources. There's unlimited food. There's unlimited free energy. You have free will. They're hiding free energy from us. They're hiding more land.
They're hiding all sorts of land.
Resources.
I mean, I think they're hiding stuff in Antarctica. That's why you don't see people going the other way around.
Right,
But I don't think those ideas, they don't have to be different.
Because
that's what I'm saying.
I understand. Let's for a second
like all these lands, I don't think, I mean, if you're looking at just reality, right? Everything has a finite time, even humanity, even your life. And you're talking about an infinite plane with infinite resources, and we see nothing like that even when we look at ourselves.
Well,
the
because
human.
because
only thing that's like that is God.
Our ability to grasp infinity. Do you know what I'm saying? Like that is within our grasp of understanding.
Well, we're born and we die, right?
Yeah.
So it's a finite amount of time.
No.
Is it not?
No.
Your
Do you believe in
soul
God?
is infinite.
Do you believe in God?
Yeah.
Okay.
Your soul is infinite. But in this reality, it's a finite
But you live many
time.
lives.
What?
You live many lives.
What do you mean? You're born and you die.
And then you come back and you live another life.
No, I mean, I don't think that. You may think that.
Well, that's the whole point. Is it's abundance versus scarcity.
I think it's scarcity in this reality.
Yeah, that's how they control you.
No, I just think that's just a reality.
But this becomes
dimension.
abundance.
But it's in a different dimension.
Hey guys, I got to run. Listen, thank you so much for having me. Sorry, I have to run. Got family. 4th of July. We
literally 4th of July was yesterday. You know that, right?
Like, we have a beautiful day.
What do you want, a flat Earth calendar?
Don't help
Listen, Sam, listen. You're a good family man. I just want to say, flat Earth matters so much. Get the app, watch the daily video every day, and then you'll get it. The frequently asked questions will answer all the questions that you have. And click Why the Lie. Click Why the Lie. Click the Ewarrenon series in the app. And just start watching because it'll save you a ton of time. It's $3. There's no, you can subscribe or not, you still get everything. Okay. So don't worry about it. Just get it and check it out. And the last thing is don't let them control your mind with cartoons. Because that's what they're doing. It's all cartoons, and everybody falls for it. So there you go.
It is programming early. That's why religion gets in early. That's why this
space, dude. Space is like.
Look what they're trying to do with
for kids.
With
it's all over. It's
with
kids and
sexuality. They're trying to get it so early they'll just plug into you when you're impressionable, and it's just unbelievable. Bye, Dave.
Hey, thanks, guys. Appreciate it.
For me, all of this is to make you not
the recording
feel
has stopped.
important. Have you stopped the whole thing?
No, I think that was
just
okay. Just to make everything is to make you feel like you are powerless. And the truth is,
I get that, but I think as Americans, we get really hopped up on movies and TV shows, and we end up taking that and framing our whole world and reality like that.
Exactly, that's what we're saying.
I know, but the thing is with what Dave's saying, especially making money out of
there's no flat Earth movies.
True, but to me, I mean, this could be like going back
It's called Level. It's out there.
Oh yeah, there's one.
to the West. And if it was in some crazy elite world when they were really harping on this flat Earth, you would see these guys get murdered. I mean, they murder people all the time. You get people. We have a term for it now, suicided. You would get Dave Weiss and all these people getting suicided left and right, but they're not. No one is shutting them down at all.
Because you can't.
But I don't think they will.
Dude, they did the same thing with you know how you're very aware of what they've done with like anything that goes against the narrative when it comes to the corona and to
100%. They shut it down.
They shut election fraud and all that, right?
Yeah,
they shut it all down.
But not with flat Earth.
What are you talking about? When we saw it, they've already done that to flat Earth. You go to flat Earth on Google, they're only going to show you the videos that they made.
No, and for sure.
And they live.
But they're still there.
Google literally said.
I found them. That's how I was able to do some research because I didn't know what the hell was happening.
Exactly. That's why you don't believe in it, because they already did what they did. What I'm talking about, how they control the algorithms.
Yeah.
They already did that with flat Earth. You just don't notice it because you don't know the good videos and the bad videos. So they're just giving you the debunker videos. They've already done it.
No. I was
let me
watching
just say
Flat
one
Earth
thing.
No.
They were pro flat Earth.
Well, if you found them, but
I found them. They were on YouTube. We just watched them on the way up.
No, if you go to YouTube, this is a fucking fact. They have on Google, especially, they'll send you to Flat Earth Society. Since 1970, they had the Flat Earth Society fake website, which they people that are questioning what we're on, they go and they Google and they check it out. Boom, it takes you to Flat Earth Society. That's a fucking total bullshit. They already do. There's a whole.
What do you mean? What's bullshit?
Flat Earth Society. It's total bullshit.
Like that society.
They make it. They turn people off on purpose.
Yeah.
They've already. What they've done
this goes back to the psyop idea with what Flat Earth could easily be a psyop to get you away from thinking about other things.
Think about this, right? Think about when they killed Jeffrey Epstein.
Yeah.
What kind of ripple effect that had? People called that the greatest day in red pill history. Everybody woke up, right? So
not everybody.
A lot of people woke up and then they went right back to bed, right? Imagine if they just started offing people left and right. I mean, look at what happened with like the Clintons. You have this list of people who died. How many people have had reactions to that?
Zero.
Everyone's like, fuck it, I don't care. So if they just started offing everybody all the time, it would draw attention to what they're doing. So they have to pick and choose what they do.
And when you pay attention to the Clinton body count, they're only suiciding people, like you brought up. They're only suiciding people that are balls deep into putting people in jail. Like they're putting together a case, they're putting together evidence, they're going on news stations.
I can see that
Then they go, okay, he's gone. But if it's just some dude talking about, there's a bunch of people talking about the Clintons.
Yeah,
they're not gonna off them. But if they're
not important enough.
If they push it and they're trying to get people in jail, people get suicided because someone is worried about going to jail.
Yeah. What's that term in like in the West, they had like snake oil sellers. What are those people?
Snake oil salesmen.
That's what this kind of reminds me of. You could easily just make up a conspiracy theory these days, and you could make money off of that.
Here's what my problem.
Huge example.
Hold on.
And I called that shit from the beginning. I said that was
what
a
you're
psyop.
saying, and we get this all the time. People are like, you're just doing this for the money. Like,
well, this is entertainment. It's different.
Yeah, but
this is different. He's talking about a scientific fact that he's determined with his own science, his own data, and he's now making money. And you can only know his data if you go and listen to his thing, and you pay money for it. For you guys, you've got this amazing platform where people can listen and get entertained. You're having people from two different sides debate, which is huge. A lot of people don't do that, especially people in science. They just have a one thing, whatever. You said it perfect. You were in an echo chamber before, and you were like, "This is a little whack. It's not really entertaining."
Because everybody already agrees with it because it's common sense. He agrees with it. It's all common sense.
I don't know why.
There's got to be current. At 100 miles, you know what you need to figure out? You know what you need to figure out? You need to figure out.
Just common sense.
At 100 miles on a ball, you need to figure out whatever calculation you use.
But aren't you?
Listen, hold on. Let me just finish. 8 inches per mile square. That's one formula. Everybody seems to agree on it, both sides. When there's a million flat Earth debates going on. There's flat Earth debates going on every day. Every day there's flat Earth. You go to Nathan Oakley, he's fucking people up every day. So my point is, you need to figure out at 8 inches per mile square, 100 miles is about 6,000 feet. If you got another curvature, there's got to be a curvature formula for a ball. So whatever it is, figure it out. for a ball that is supposedly 25,000 miles in circumference. That's the mainstream science. So you got to believe that number's real for you because you believe that. So at 25,000 mile circumference for a ball, there's got to be a certain amount of curve at 100 miles in the ocean. So once you figure that out, whether it's 3,000 feet of curves, 6,000 feet, 2,000 feet, whatever it is, then look into rail guns and how they pinpoint targets on the ocean at 100 miles. Look into that. Just that. That shouldn't be possible. Whether it's 8 inches per mile square, 2 inches per mile square, 10 inches per mile square, at 100 miles in the ocean, you should not be able to see anything. But Navy rail guns, they target at 100 miles. So just stick with that one, and then.
But are they hitting at 100 miles?
But
they're taking pictures. They're taking pictures of it at 100 miles.
I'd have to see that.
Laser. Okay.
I remember reading it, and it was saying that they are able to get there.
Okay.
Able to.
Look into that. So that's what, like David Weiss said at the top. There's no way you can convince anybody shit.
Could you be convinced that it's round again?
Never.
There's an easy experiment for
and
that.
I'm open to either.
Because I've already looked into
what, Johnny?
it. But I've been trying to debunk it at first. I was balls deep into it for the last 5 years. And you just keep real. I mean, like everything. There's Eric Dubé has a video, 200 proofs, and there's actually 1,000. It just goes on and on and on and on. One thing is like, what in these flat Earth debates? Why can't people pro ball? Why can't they use any of the pictures of Earth from space as evidence? No one ever brings it up. Why? Because they even know they're not real pictures. If it was proven that we had a real picture of Earth from space, that would just shut everything down. Everything. A video of Earth from space, a picture of Earth from space would shut everything down. You know why it's never brought up? Because there aren't any. Why? Oh, because we just can't figure it out. And they go, but we do it. They say this. We do have one real picture. We do have one. It's the one when the astronauts went to the moon, they took a picture of Earth from the moon. So we do have one. I'm like, wait a minute, you guys faked that shit. So you have none. You have none. So one real picture of Earth from space would shut everything down. But you know what? It never gets brought up because even the pro ballers know that all pictures and video from space are CGI. Yeah. That's why. That would shut everything down.
Bravo was deep into the Space-Time Odyssey. When
I would,
came out,
dude,
me yeah.
Dude, me and Joe Rogan were so into space documentaries, we would get high as fuck and just watch them over and over again. 8-part series, universe. In our 30s, not as kids. In our 30s, grown-ass men obsessed. We were just we thought we knew everything about super hypernovas and neutron stars, and yeah, they're like 70 light years away, and then we were just memorizing. And then every now and then I'm watching balls deep, high as fuck, and I'm like, I wonder why we never see real video of any of these fucking planets and stars. It's always cartoons. Whatever. They must have a good reason. So every space documentary, every single one is 100% CGI. That right there, big red flag, big red. And this is the one thing that got me. The one thing that got me is I always knew that the moon landings were fake. And I thought NASA that was their job. NASA was, their job was the moon missions. And I didn't know that NASA ran all the space information. I thought it was just the moon, so I didn't trust NASA. I'm like, they faked the moon missions. I can't trust them. But I thought, surely there's another agency that's in charge of all the different planets and balls deep into space and all that shit. And then when guys started bringing up Flat Earth to me in 2015, 2016, I was just like you guys. Like, I can't even talk to you no more. I was like, I can't. You bring up Flat Earth to me tomorrow, we cannot talk no more because that is the dumbest shit. And I was
all his time watching those videos.
I was on Joe's.
But I never felt like that.
I was on Joe's.
I never have this like almost religious reaction to it.
No, but I did.
But even now, I don't.
What I'm saying is I was way deeper than you on it. And so like I remember on Joe's podcast, Joe would say, "Dude, there's people that even believe the Earth is flat." I'm like, what? What are they, Amish or something? How retarded can they? Like I thought they were so dumb. And then another one of my students brought it up. Another one said, "Hey, you ever look into Flat Earth?" I'm like, "Dude, you just fuck. Like, I don't ever want to talk to you again." And then he's all like, "Listen, I got a master's degree in engineering. You should look into it. I'm like, oh my God. I felt like I can't talk to this guy no more.
You've lost
and then
a
we started
soldier.
texting. We were texting. Like
goes
we
another
were
one.
going back. I lost another soldier. That's how. As soon as you say flat Earth, I'm like, dude, you are retarded. There are real conspiracy theories that we should be focusing on, and you're talking about this fucking this flat Earth bullshit. So we were going back and forth. So I thought, and I was thinking, dude, I have a fucking phone, dude. I have a phone, an iPhone that has the picture of the Earth from
that's
space.
not a real photo.
No, I know, but I didn't know that. I thought it was real.
Oh,
no
yeah,
one.
it's
No,
not
they
a real
don't tell
photo.
you right there. Hey, the iPhone doesn't tell you we're gonna put this on default. It's a default picture for
Yeah.
iPhone, and we're not. They don't tell you that it's not real. Everyone looks at it and goes, "That's fucking real. That's a ball. That's real. That's part of the
Kids think it's
indoctrination."
real. Kids
Everybody
think
thinks
it's
it's
real.
real.
Dude, kids are also think
That's
that
how you
there's
start.
no
But
Yeah,
listen,
that's
let
how
me
you
finish.
start.
Let me finish. So then I go, and I'm like telling my dude, I look at the ball every day on my fucking phone, and you're telling me we're on a flat fucking disc? Are you fucking mad? So then I go online. I go, I'm just gonna send them as many fucking pictures of Earth from space. There's got to be fucking thousands of them with all different shading and the sun over here, the moon over. There's got to be all sorts of amazing pictures of Earth from space. And as soon as I got on, I'm like, let's see, what is it? And I started looking at them. These are all cartoon. And then I went to the source of the pictures, and they were all like NASA.gov, NASA.gov. I go, wait, right there. That's all I needed. I'm like, wait a minute. NASA is fucking controlling all these pictures of Earth from space? Right there. I'm like, there's a problem. There's a problem here.
Yeah.
So then I started looking into it, and it took me like 18 months to figure out, like a year and a half. I was like just obsessed with it. I didn't want to say it.
You know what the
I didn't want to
Hebrew
say I
word-
was into it, but I'm like, wait a minute. NASA, the Nazis, the Nazis,
No.
the Nazis are the ones giving us this information. All our space information comes from Nazis.
Do you know what the
Nazis.
Hebrew word for
Nazis.
deceive is?
Nazis.
Nasha.
Like these are Nazis.
What are you trying to say?
Operation Paperclip, 1,500 Nazis.
Yeah.
You're talking about like
Came in and-
ejaculation. You're talking about Nazis. What are we talking about?
I'm talking about the Hebrew word for deceive is nasha. It's NASA with an H.
deceive.
Yes. Do you guys have anything you want to say in here? You guys think
Carlos,
violent?
what's on your mind, Carlos? And hey,
Anything?
listen, is Jean-Jacques a flat earther? Because I never brought it up to him. Jean-Jacques is red pilled for sure, but we never bring that. I never bring that up to Jean-Jacques. I don't want him to hate me.
Let me just kind of give you my spiel. I cannot speak for my brother. You have to find out on your own. But I think these discussions, I was very thankful that Frank and Dave and all you guys put that together. I think we lack critical thinking. And unfortunately, people get swayed by opinions. And a lot of times, you're not going to get the information waiting for that to fall into your lap, especially nowadays with the algorithms, like you said, Eddie. It's really hard to dig because it's true that if you try to research about flat Earth a few years back when you started coming across that topic, it was a lot easier to find more sources available without the censorship that's taking place now. That if Frank, for instance, was to research anything, all you would see was debunkers, telling one spiel after the other. It's really hard to find anything. The other thing, too, we live in this dilemma that you want to find the truth and you want to share the truth, and then you have the cancel culture and all the different issues that were brought up from the beginning. For me, I'm open-minded, you understand? Because my goal is long-term. I want to know the truth, no matter what, in whatever subject that I pursue. And I feel that individually speaking, we should always become the better version of ourselves, whether we're going to save the world by saving the immediate people in our vicinity, our family members, our students, the people that we'll build a legacy with, or the world at large. I'm not an activist. I'm not a political guy, but I don't shy away from topics. I keep my mouth shut, and I'm very glad to share with you guys some of my views. But I do think that, unfortunately, when we talk to the population at large, we have to deal with this bias that people cannot think for themselves. They're trained in school not to think, but to answer multiple choice questions and things like that. I feel that this initiative, just to conclude, is a great one. I know you guys touch on a lot of subjects in the group chats that you guys have. And that's what brought me here. Matt is the one that kind of brought that to my attention, and I'm thankful for the opportunity. I'm very pleased to share the time with all you guys, and I hope that maybe we can see each other again and talk some more about that, or how we can develop critical thinking, because I feel here is a lot of times different people receive information with the biases. They cannot yet digest the information. It's like giving the hook instead of giving the fish. How can we promote amongst the people not to be followers, but become leaders on their own right within the scope of how they find stuff about anything? That's my spiel. I wanted to conclude with that.
You know, when you go to a YouTube video and on the video, if there's any mention of COVID-19, there's a label that pops up.
It's a Wikipedia
right?
thing, yeah.
Same thing with Instagram, right?
Yeah.
The labels come up. Anything about like election, boom,
so
a label. Why do they do that? Why do you think they do that?
I mean, they're trying to just essentially say
is it
false.
deep state? Is that deep state? Is it deep state-ish?
Yeah, I would probably.
Totally right. So,
but
exactly.
it could be something else, you know. It could also be people that are plugged into the deep state and they just think that's right, and so they're trying to like.
That's what it is.
Like, you know,
what
the Times or whatever when they released that paper that was like, the shadow campaign to ensure our democracy.
Yeah.
And it was like, what do you mean?
No, totally. That's how it's.
But censorship is censorship, regardless of whether it's positive or negative.
Yeah, exactly. So the root of it is evil, right? All the labeling, the root of it, right? Anything you mention, election, label. Anything you mention, COVID, label. Anything you mention, hydroxychloroquine, it's bullshit. There's a reason.
Okay, so
there's
you're
a
saying
nefarious reason for the labels, right?
Yeah, I think if you're it's like 1984. If you start to label things so that you're trying to suppress an idea, then there's an issue there. But going back, you mentioned the Nazis.
It's nefarious. Hold on, let me finish.
Yes, it is nefarious.
It's nefarious.
Sure.
Go to YouTube and punch in any flat Earth video. Watch the label comes up, and the label will come up on all flat Earth videos, and it'll take you to a fucking link, Wikipedia. Flat Earth is bullshit. It's archaic.
I gotta relook.
Google real quick.
100%. So it's in the same.
No, I just looked at some, and they were pro flat Earth.
The woman who runs Google said they were going to actively
they had congressional meetings.
Actively censor 3 types of videos. One was Holocaust denial videos. Okay. The other one was
you're okay with that
flat Earth. No, we're okay with. I mean, we're gonna go. Hey, denying the Holocaust, right? That seems to be what people would be like. Hey, dude, that's bullshit, right? I mean, we could have a black belt discussion about it, but most people would agree with that, right? That they should censor Holocaust denial stuff.
I don't think they should censor anything.
Okay, but do you understand, like, society-wise, people, the average person would...
At least the thing on YouTube.
...would be like, oh, yeah, you should do that. Then the next one is home remedies, right? Like, if you're remedies where you don't have to go to a doctor to get some kind of pharmaceutical. And the next one was flat Earth.
But I can see why they would do all of those 3 together, because it's not. I personally, I don't think it's necessarily the ideas; it's the people that are looking into those type of ideas. Because a lot of what Dave said, I may not agree with everything, but there's a lot of things that he said that I do that I do agree with. This whole like veil over our eyes, all these sort of things.
Right.
So if you're already listening to that, you may not agree with the full idea, but you're already questioning now things, and they don't want that.
I can tell you why they want why they want to shut down each one of those, and none of them are for pure love reasons. Okay.
Yeah, they're all bad. He said it, nefarious.
Okay.
But to go back to this Nazi idea, I mean, I think the Nazis, regardless of how evil they were, they did some insanely smart shit. The way they engineered their guns, their tanks, they had rockets, blah, blah, blah. So they are obviously doing some very smart shit on terms of that. So when you have those sort of people that are now being incorporated into NASA or whatever, I mean, you could tell that they're going to be doing things that are very...
They fake the moon missions. Man.
Yeah, sure. Yeah, but dude, I'm saying that just because they're evil doesn't mean that they're not making things that are just insanely awesome.
No, Werner von Braun, Werner von Braun, the director of the 6 supposed.
He was found guilty.
He was the Hitler's rocket man. He was the rocket engineer. They brought him in to be the spokesperson of these moon missions.
Yeah, I mean I can see.
There's nothing good about.
No, there's nothing good. But I'm just saying that when you look at Germany and what they were making,
what you're basically saying is that Michael Jackson's music was great. You don't care he's a pedophile.
I'm saying that his music.
Dude,
His music can be good, and he can be a pedophile. They don't have to be
but
together.
that doesn't change that he was a pedophile, though.
Yeah, why didn't he go to jail? Why didn't he? Why wasn't he involved in the Nuremberg
I mean,
trials?
like Nazis,
He was
like
his right-hand
regardless
man.
of
He was
what you
Hitler's
think the
right-hand man.
numbers
Michael
were,
Jackson?
they did some pretty bad. Now, I will tell you, the Nazis didn't lose the war. Germany did. The Nazis, most of them
Yeah, they
died
just all kinda-
peacefully in Argentina.
Sure. Or no, they're incorporated into our government.
And a lot with
the Soviets too. Soviets took half. We took half.
so
even
in
the
Japan,
scientists.
even
it was,
Japan.
It was MK Ultra came from the Nazis.
Right,
It was
right.
some like evil
so,
shit.
So we could sit there and go, hey, man, we love highways. Thank you, Hitler. Right? We could say that, right? But there's still a lot of dark shit that came from them. So even if it's the most, even if they're like, you know what? The Nazis invented Care Bears, and they're really cool little toys to play with. You gotta go, why? What was the reason behind all this?
Sure, but I'm not saying that because they invented rockets, they're therefore good. I'm just saying that just because they're Nazis doesn't mean whatever they made doesn't work. If anything, it does
But
work.
it should be questioned.
Of course. I'm just saying it doesn't mean it doesn't work.
I never said Nazi innovation was fraudulent.
No, I know,
Hold
but I
on,
never
hold on,
said that.
hold on,
I'm
guys.
just saying that
Carlos,
they still
go.
work.
All right, so we're dealing here with intention because you have a technology can be used for good or evil, you know. So in this case here, talking about the Nazis, just to kind of put in perspective, war is a business. And there's a movie in black and white back in the old days called Winds of War. And it shows the Nazis, with Hitler included, all in a meeting with corporate, business owners from the Western countries that were fighting the Germans. And they're all meeting up and talking about business, how it was during the war, how it would be after the war, and all that stuff. So whether that reflects the reality in its full or not, it doesn't change the fact that there are a lot of business, and most of the corporations now who became mega corporations, it didn't happen until the two great wars that happened last century. You know, until then, they had a different scale.
Yeah, I
You
mean,
know,
I think what you're saying is almost perfectly true. This is what we mean by the deep state. Like there's a lot of evidence of even the USA tricking Japan into bombing us, so then we can then go to war and have this whole industry for war, right? And then these people after the fact all get together to continue to give us the perception of American freedom versus the actual true freedom, right? That's the matrix, right? We're in this perception, but it's not actually true. If you look at our actual rights in the U.S., there's a lot of stipulations on our liberties. We're not actually truly free, right? If you want to be free, then safety has to be less, and vice versa.
Yeah.
You can't be truly free and then have all this safety that we have, safety in the U.S. So with this World War II thing, I mean, that's when we started to see these elite people kind of going behind closed doors, having puppets go out there, be politicians, and the end goal is to have this one global government where you have power and money. But that's my point, is that there is a reason why they're doing all these things, and we call it conspiracy theories, even though in reality they're just theories and probably a lot of truth in them. They have a purpose, power and money and control, and maybe even potentially removing the idea of man trying to be closer to God. They want you distant from God if you're religious, right?
So apply that to flat Earth.
I agree with everything
Now
you said.
plan that to flat Earth. It doesn't matter if the Earth is flat or round. It doesn't matter.
It does.
Why? Why would it change this whole goal?
That's part of the control. That's part of killing God.
Yes.
If that was, I mean, it worked on me, dude. All the indoctrination worked on me. It all worked on me.
You love Slayer, bro.
I worship Slayer. Slayer was awesome.
the band.
No, everything. In all aspects of New World Order strategies, it got me in everything. They.
What do you mean?
It's hard to control a country or that has really super strong family values and they have guns.
Oh yeah, 100%.
So a part of the plan is to come up with as many different ways to destroy the family unit as possible.
And flat and round will do that?
Well, if we're on a ball in infinite space, then that helps to kill God. Like, no, this Bible ain't real. All the scientists are studying space, and it helps to destroy God.
I don't understand that, to be honest with you, Eddie. Because in my personal opinion, the Big Bang Theory was the biggest proof that there is
You know
God.
who created the Big Bang Theory?
Yeah, Hawkins and some other people.
No,
Guess what?
a priest.
Yeah,
A
a priest. But Hawkins spent the rest of his life trying to disprove that theory. The reason why is because we have force.
Where's the
force
proof of that?
Equals
Where's the
MA.
show me proof of the Big Bang there, because no one else has been able to come up with proof. If you could come up with,
I
proof,
mean,
would
The
love it.
heliocentric
There's no
model
proof
of the
it.
universe was
Out of
created
nothing,
by a
everything
Jesuit.
exploded. Out of nothing, everything
It's just the
exploded.
truth.
I mean, but that's a lot of different scientific.
So,
beer was created by.
we went from a plane
priests.
to a planet, right? And then what is the symbol?
No,
I'm
no,
sorry,
the
this is the
heliocentric
most.
thing came way earlier than that. The idea that the
Copernicus,
Earth,
it was Copernicus.
Yeah, it's way older than
Copernicus.
just this Jesuit priest. It's like 2,000 years old, 2,500 years old.
No. 2,000 years ago,
round
that
Earth.
was Socrates, or it was either Socrates or Plato.
You got Newton with the apple.
They. Okay, we don't have to start it all
We'll
over.
get
I wanted
into
to
that.
I wanted to wind it down.
Yeah,
but
let's wind it down.
Getting back into like Socrates.
We'll wind down.
Like who knows?
It's just
who
older
knows
than
what
what you were
happened?
mentioning.
First of all, who knows what fucking happened in history?
But let me say my
History could all
point. This
be
is my
bullshit.
point on what I think. When it comes to the Big Bang, this is God creating reality. And it's the biggest proof because everything in our reality, you need a force to act on mass, and then you have acceleration.
Right.
F equals ma. That was, and the Big Bang Theory, nothing
How
acted
did they
in order
prove
that to
the Big
prove.
Bang Theory?
God.
Most
How does it
astrophysicists, maybe 99% of
I can tell
astrophysicists
you
don't believe in God.
what they'll say to that.
I know why.
Most don't.
I know why, but they don't.
Okay,
they
there's 9
skirt around this.
But that's
this issue.
the point.
All
of
right,
it, to get
we got to
everyone not
wrap
to
it
believe.
up, guys.
Can I just really quick? This is what scientists will say. I'm not saying I agree with it. We are seeing the universe get colder and more spread out. So they're applying that, saying if you go back in the past, then it must have been hotter and more condensed. And if you go
I don't
back
believe any of
infinitely,
that. I don't believe
I know, but
anything
that's what
coming
they
from
say.
that.
I don't know.
And that's
I don't
all
believe in
bullshit.
that.
But the one thing I think it all boils down to, there's an easy experiment that we could all do on
Listen,
film.
Science
No, but-
should not only be able to be proven by one
Well, that's
body.
what I'm saying. That's why, and I'm getting to this. This is an easy experiment we can all do. We could film it. And they tried to do it at the end of that documentary, Behind the Curve, and they failed, the flat earthers. We can go stand at a distance over which the curve of the earth should be measured, put somebody out on a boat, somebody on the shore, and we can put lights up behind a couple of planks of plywood, and then shine those lights through the holes. And they should be visible through the holes at a distance of, let's say, 8 miles. It
So
didn't
should
work.
we
In
do
the
it?
documentary, it didn't work because the earth, according to people who believe it's round.
That was a hit piece. Beyond the Curve
Well,
was a
I
hit
know,
piece.
but why don't we do
That's
that?
why it was
that.
on Netflix.
We can do that.
Many people have done that. What you're talking about,
and you're saying it's a hit piece.
There's 1,000 videos.
Yeah, but let's us do it then.
over and over.
Let's do it. Let's do it.
I don't need to do it. You could
but
do
why
it.
do you believe them on YouTube and you don't believe?
Because I don't even need that to know that what they're telling us about space is fake. I don't. Even
A lot
need
of
that.
people would believe it if you did it, though.
I mean, you could do it, and I would like to see the video. But for me to go out there and
Would you believe that if I did it? I went and did that in wherever, and I sent you a video. I was like, "Hey, this didn't match up the lights."
Because it was flat earthers who did that experiment, though. I mean, no, the guys filming it was a hit piece, but the guys who did the experiment were flat earthers.
But what if I
People
did it?
we
Would you
trust.
believe that?
If you did what?
If I sent you a video and the lights don't align,
Carlos.
would you be like, "Oh, that's weird"?
That's a challenge.
I would look into it. I would look into how you did it. And
Eddie, Carlos.
Yes.
Quick.
All right, so I think what Frank
There's
is
many
saying.
videos like that already. So that's like what he's
And
brought up.
it's a lot
Like, there's 1,000
easier. It's a
videos.
lot
like that.
easier.
Eddie.
Frank is a very smart guy, has a science approach to things. I think if he takes the time to do his diligence and investigate on his own with just basic experiments, he may be able to come to different conclusions or the same conclusions. I don't know. But a lot of times when you're trying to disprove something, you stumble into things that you may not have anticipated, and the answer might not be what you expect. And I'm not saying he's going to be converted to become a flat earther, and I'm not labeling, but I think it would be amazing, Frank, if you take the time just to get a laser, get a zoom camera, and just make your calculations with whatever numbers out there available, and then maybe we can revisit this, or you can post your findings on the forum. Because I think it's amazing. That shows two things. First, humility. You're humble enough that you would take that, opportunity. And secondly, opportunity. Because if that's going to prove something different than what you expect, I think you will only gain from it. And by all means, if this could be a challenge, I would love to throw that out there.
Yeah, I would love to do that. I could take the, visible green laser I have, like even on my rifle, and I can just have it go through, and we can easily do that. I would love to do
Let's do it, Johnny. Let's all work together.
I will say they attempted it first with a laser, and they found that the laser, even a high quality laser like you're describing over distance, it didn't quite work as well as a light. But yeah, we can do that for sure.
All right, we're gonna set that up.
We're gonna do it. We got more dates than just San Diego. Rattle off all the dates.
Yeah, there you go.
We have San Diego. We have Dallas, and we have Oklahoma City, and those are all available at samtripoli.com. You can go there.
We got Tacoma.
September 3rd, 2 shows, a 4 o'clock and a 10 o'clock.
And then what else? Don't we have Spokane too?
Yeah.
Spokane, yeah.
Spokane. It's day before, same weekend.
Yeah, my bad, yeah.
Same weekend.
Yeah.
And then don't we have other dates? Tampa? No Tampa.
Tampa's not till December 11th.
We don't have anything after that? Wait, don't we have Kansas City?
Oh, well, dude, we have
Kansas
October
City.
16th is the big 500th weekend, and we would love to have you be a part of it in Vegas. We're going to do some stand-up. We're going to do some podcasting. We're going to do a whole bunch of stuff.
Okay. What's up with San Diego? What's the name of the club in San Diego?
The American Comedy Company.
What date is that?
That is October 24th.
And it's a 420 show.
Wait a minute, San Diego?
Yeah.
I thought we were doing San Diego in like 2 or 3 weeks.
No, it's excuse me, it's July 24th.
July 24th.
Man, I've been slurring my
So
words.
our next show is San Diego.
Yeah.
Man, I don't even remember. Fuck. Okay.
Yeah, just go to samtripoli.com. It's all there, man. It's all there. Guys, thank you so much for coming on. We've had a wonderful time.
Thank you, Carlos.
Dude, Carlos,
You're awesome.
much respect. Matt, much respect. Thank you guys so much for
Thank
coming
you.
on.
Thank you.
Honor, privilege. Frank, thanks for coming on.
Hey, Frank was awesome.
Frank did
was
great.
awesome.
Frank stayed.
You should have your own
Frank
podcast.
was like Bruce Lee, fighting 30 dudes at one time with Johnny occasionally
Johnny
coming
got my
in.
back.
Johnny, are you? You're so obviously you're not a flat earther, but would you say you're like on the fence?
I promise you, if we did these experiments, and I would believe them if they came out the way you say they should.
Okay.
I got it. I'm like you though. I got to see it. I don't
Okay.
believe anything NASA shows me, and I don't believe anything anybody else shows me.
Okay, so you're open to possibilities.
Yeah, absolutely.
Okay, that's
He ain't married. He ain't married to the ball.
You ain't married to the ball?
No.
Oh shit! That's
So I just want to say
That's huge.
something.
18 more months. It'll be a flight. 18
Wrap it
months.
up. I just want to wrap it up. You know, Dave, there was some mention of being a snake oil salesman. I don't believe that. I have no problems with somebody making money. He also does a free podcast that you could listen to all the time called the Flat Earth Podcast. There's nothing wrong with doing this. You know, that is always the big criticism of YouTubers. You know, these people work so hard in their YouTube channels, and you're just doing it for this. For what? For what? I mean, there's nothing wrong with making $1 on your passion. You know, I mean, to be honest with you, you're in the pharmaceuticals. You moved into the business side because you want to make money. I mean, it's no different, man. To me, so I
Making money, doing the things you love should be everybody's goal. Yeah. And he loves David Weiss. He loves
and he's super passionate about
and
it.
he's
I have no
super
problem
smart
with a guy making $1 off of something.
I love David.
There wasn't a problem with him doing it. My point is that his critique is that other people, there's a conspiracy all about money to keep everyone controlled.
No, it's not. It's not. He never said it's all about money. He said it's about Satan.
He said it's spiritual.
It's Satan.
Yeah, sure, spiritual.
He never said money.
But he
did say money was fake. He did say money is fake. I remember.
Well, I mean,
there was a reason.
Money is
he didn't say. It
inferred it. That's my point. Is that he could also be called out for the same exact points. I'd be careful using that because anyone could be a salesman.
Totally. And he always says, don't believe what he says. Don't take his word for it. You have to. Everybody who's a flat earther that was a
good point.
Totally against it.
Everybody is honestly a 2-hour and 30-minute podcast. You should question every word that comes out on this podcast by both sides. Yeah. It should never be accept what we say. Do your own research. Question all of us, man. And I have no problems with that. I thank everybody for coming on. Johnny, thank you. Xavier, you in the corner in the back, thanks for hanging out. And I saw you whispering, I like your work in the corner, so I appreciate that. And
thank you.
It was a great.
Thanks,
I love you guys, Matt. Thank you guys very much.
Thanks, Matt.
Love you guys. See you in Alaska and
Thanks,
see you in San Diego. Take care, everybody.
We go deep, homeboy. Aaron, open your mind. the fountain of knowledge. There's lizard people everywhere. That's some interdimensional shit. Wake up, Aaron.
This is only the beginning.
Dude, you just blew my mind.
Tinfoil hat.